What we do here is go back.
And hopefully we are live, possibly, hopefully. Must rearrange my desk. As per usual, been planning this all day, and then at the last minute something definitely goes wrong. As is often the case, but hopefully you can hear me. If you can, please let me know in the chat. Yes, I have got my glasses on. I've had a headache for a day or two, and I think it's because I'm not wearing my glasses and I'm straining my eyes, so got the old goggles on. And now I can see everything in HD, which is always a nice thing. Sound all good, excellent. Let's go with the overhead camera, hopefully that's working okay. Yep, that looks good to me. And the desktop stream. Yep, don't want to run an ad quite yet, that's fine. There we go. So hopefully everything is working good, and hopefully you're all having a fantastic weekend. Where's the adjuster on my seat? I hate this bloody seat. If you're not, well, I've never shown this I don't think, but this is what I actually have to sit on. Basically a milking stool. And I've got an adjuster there. Is that worse? You can see me now. Oh, where's the thing gone? There we go. Let's try and get that in a comfortable position. There we go. It is a it's not a man milking stool, although I expect if I ask Kath nicely, you never know. Chuck the phone out of the way, we won't be needing that. What else have I got here that I don't need? Right, don't need that. Won't be needing this box. And go back over there. We will be needing those. O'Reilly says, oh, the lesser spotted mic with glasses. Yeah, so I don't like them, I'll be honest with you, I really don't like them. I've had them for donkeys. I think I got these back in maybe 2012, maybe even earlier than that. but yes. Is this working? Yes, it is. Excellent stuff.
Apologies if I missed anyone, but my YouTube
Yeah.
is just being...
Who else is struggling and getting rather peeved at the new YouTube layout? From what I can gather, I've posted, and I don't think everybody has got it at the moment, but it's horrible. I don't like it at all.
And apologies if I've missed anyone on it.
So if you can't find the like button, it'll be in the top right-hand corner.
When you close the
But you'll have to close chat to get to it, I think. Ugly Bob says YouTube layout is total asshole. Wayne Taylor says it's annoying. Riley says I'm not sure what the YouTube layout looks like. Let me show you one moment, sir. I'm sure we can actually do that. Let's open up another tab here. Let's do an incognito and we'll go to YouTube because YouTube asshole. And let's full screen that one. Let's accept some cookies because cookies. And if you look at the desktop stream, so this is the new layout for the YouTubes. So let's go to let's actually find something from us. Mike's unboxing. Let's go for the totally free. Shush. I suppose I better watch the ads. Pays the bills. No, I don't want YouTube Premium. Skip ads. So as you can see, the layout is different now. Actually, no, this is the same. So yeah, this appears to have the
we have to make another 3 or 4 videos a week to pay for YouTube.
the comments on the side where they are normally. So yeah, that's how it is at the moment. And you've got your other videos. The new version basically has it so that all your stuff is down there and all of this stuff is over there. So they basically swap places. But it would appear that if I log in as not myself, it's absolutely fine. So let's go back to this camera and I will kill that off. Let's open up another YouTube window and we'll full screen that and we'll find the same video. Mike's unboxing. You can join today. So there we go.
How do you use TubeBuddy?
Oh,
Yeah, the news
shut
unlock.
up. Right. Let's skip that advert. We go to desktop stream. So now you can see it's different on this side. So now the details are over on the right hand side and the like button. Let's drop myself a like. Why not? And if you scroll down, rather than having the comments, which would normally be in this area, we've now got other videos that you can watch, which appear to be mostly my own. So comments are on this side now. So maybe it is only for certain people. Maybe it's not a completely widespread thing. Who knows? But it's for a creator, or creators, I should say, for myself and Kath, trying to actually go through comments there is actually pretty hard work.
Some quite hardcore apps by the end of the
And you can't actually change it from what I can tell. So if we go into that section there, I don't think we can do anything there. Settings. No, I don't think we can do much there at all. Anyway, so you get the general idea. It kind of sucks. I don't like it. YouTube should roll back the layout. Yes, they should. But what they should at least have an option like a tick box or something saying like show old version. Like a lot of the time if you use Outlook or Word or Facebook even, yeah, when they change anything, there's always an option like a toggle. It's like
beta or not.
Yeah, beta or non-beta.
Because I'm still on their old version.
So it is not great. I'm not overly keen on it. Anyway, good evening to all of you in the chat watching the live. Thank you very much for joining us on this Saturday evening. It is currently Saturday the 24th. I had to look down because my glasses are doing the old bifocal thing. Saturday the 24th of February 2024. It is approximately 8:30. Let's roll with some of the super chats, which hopefully I can actually see some of them. Can I see them? They are... No, they're not on my feed for some reason.
Right, okay.
Kath, just tell me who they are.
Oh, I've got this light on, sorry.
Actually, if I go into...
Nick Barnes, first of all.
Nick Barnes, £10 PayPal donation. Thank you very much for that. And we've also got Jason Woods with a £2 super chat donation. It says disco, disco, disco. Bob has to go one better, so he's also throwing in £2 into the hat and says disco, disco, disco,
Sorry,
disco.
Jason, I didn't thank you. That's when
Rick H also has thrown in $2 into the kitty and says disco, disco, Bob. Thank you very much, you three. Well, you four. Thank you very much. Very kind of you all. Mark Berry says, Mike, how's the carnivore diet going? It's not going too bad. I've not entirely transferred over, so
we still eat cake.
yeah, I'm still eating cake, which is technically made from cream and butter. So that's from an animal, and eggs.
Margarine.
So yeah,
Eggs
yeah.
from China.
I haven't had chips, potatoes, or pasta, anything like that, for over a week now. No, about a week actually. I tell a lie, because I did have a curry with some rice for my dinner on Sunday last week, so not quite a week. But yeah, I'm not too phased by it all, to be honest with you. I'm not sure whether that was why I was getting a headache this week. Maybe it's my body kind of readjusting, maybe flushing out some toxins or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to do like a complete hard stop and just say, right, that's it. I'm just going to do carnivore. That is it. I'm still drinking tea. I'm still drinking coffee. That's got milk in it, and also it's got sugar in it. So I'm not going completely off the deep end, but I'm trying to limit those things like chips, pasta, rice, that kind of stuff, and biscuits and things like that, which are obviously, they're great. We all know they're great and they taste good, but it's one of those things where it's kind of, you enjoy it for what it is, and then after it's like, oh God, I'm going to have to go to the shops and buy bigger trousers.
But if you cut them out, you won't miss them after a little while.
Mm.
It's only because you keep not doing it fully that you still crave it.
Anyway, so there we go. That's how it's going. Doing it gradually. Hugh Luttrell says, hi all, the stream with commercials is not watchable. Keeps locking up. We'll try again next week. Bye
Who's
all.
that, sorry?
Hugh Luttrell. Not sure what's going on there. There has been some people that have said if they're using some kind of ad blocker or some kind of blocking thing, either pie holes, anything which blocks adverts, it does seem that it is causing problems for some people. So I think YouTube maybe are coding things now that if you have that kind of stuff installed, not saying that Hugh has, but possibly, if you've got any kind of things which could possibly detract from YouTube's revenue, then they'll basically screw up your experience and make the browser hang or something. That may or may not be the case, I'm not too sure, but sorry about that, Hugh. All the stream of commercials. I don't think we've even got commercials running though. Maybe we have got the ads automator. Let me turn off the ads automator.
Does the carnivore diet include cats?
No, I'm not allowed to eat cats.
Although the cats are already on a carnivore diet.
There we go. Let's see.
They only eat meat and offal. And they're so much healthier.
Right, there we go. There's the adverts turned off. So see what happens with that. Dutch Jan says, no problems here with Brave. I still haven't got round to trying that. I really must do it.
Right.
William Bodie says, Mike, your twin had currywurst with chips at the hot dog stand today. Currywurst with chips. Lovely. That does sound good. I do really fancy. There's a fish and chip shop in our village locally called Good Fridays, and more times than not, it's actually good stuff, although we have had a few times where it's been a bit odd, a bit gritty. But I really do, now that I'm not eating that stuff, I really do fancy it. And when we walk down into the village, you can kind of smell the fish and chips in the air, and it kind of makes you want to buy it. But I haven't.
It's like the estate agent.
Yeah.
Town.
Yeah, it's not really the village, it's just where all the estate agents are in the banks used to be.
Oh, that was a big side flame.
Mark Berry says, we're all guilty. I've just had a hot cross bun. Yeah, I think with Easter coming up, it's going to be hard to to not have a whole bunch of chocolate.
One year I ate my Easter eggs to I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here.
You did.
I saved them till November.
Ugly Bob says, chips with loads of salt and vinegar. Oh, yes. David Aiken, bless your heart, sir. £2 super chat. It says, Namaste, Mubbers. Namaste to you, Dave, and your family. Hope you're doing well. Dave's been up to his eyes in redoing his floorboards in his house. People that live outside of the UK probably don't experience this as much because we live in a country which is mostly wet and or damp and or cold. Wooden things don't do well, and anything which is made of brick sucks up water. So if you've got a slightly older house where the damp proof course is either failed or has not been installed at all, you find lots of remedial work has to be done, and I think Dave is finding that out as we speak, or at least has been today. So good stuff. Kieran's with us. Kieran says, I left a like before I nosedive into another coma. Well, try not to have a coma. Have a korma. I would love a korma. Paul R says, hi Mike, Paul R here. Sound familiar. Paul R. Paul R.
You are.
I'm trying to think of Pauls that I know. Paul R. I'm trying to think. There's a Paul that works with me, or sometimes, well, doesn't really work with me, but works in the same place as me. But I'm not sure. No, that's not R, I don't think is his surname. You have to say who you are.
R.
Who you are. Ah, I won your Christmas giveaway. Hello, Paul. Sorry, that's all coming. Yeah, I understand now. Well done. Thanks for joining us. And thanks, Lucky Man, for the MSI approved £2 donation. Where's my mouse? It says, did I say hello? Sorry, brain quite not sorted. No worries. Lucky Man's been through the mill. Lucky Man, I think the British humour, we try to make light of things when things are quite dark. We add slightly dark humour in. But Lucky Man's been through the mill over the last, 2 years or more. And yeah, things aren't looking great for Lucky Man. And it makes me think that Lucky Man, you really need to consider changing that name. Lucky Man is probably maybe the polar opposite of what you've experienced over the last couple of years or so. But anyway, we love you no matter what you call yourself. Wayne Taylor says, yep, no such damp problems in Western Australia. No, I'd imagine everything's pretty much dried out there. Which I think I prefer dried out rather than saturated. Saturated's never good. Ashley Strachan's with us, says, hey all, hope all is good. This on in the background whilst I'm fiddling about with my new Steam Deck. Oh, it's pretty. I've actually been tempted. I like the principle of the Steam Deck, and I was very much considering the ROG Ally from Asus. But there's something about it, and the fact that it runs Armory Crate, which kind of scares me a bit. I also did like the LG version as well. The LG Legion, that looks actually quite interesting. But I'm holding out for the MSI Claw. Despite its stupid name, and potentially its stupid choice of processors and graphics, I think it might be the one for me. But we'll see. I'm still waiting for some reviews and some availability. Hey, you never know. MSI might even send one out for me for review purposes. That'd be nice, and then I can actually try it and see what it's like. I don't really need one. I don't really want one, but they're kind of cool. And it would be handy for in the summer in the garden, especially if it's got OLED and I can actually see the damn thing. That would be awesome. Yes, Kath?
Oscar. I can't. I've probably done that so wrong.
Oscar. What is an Oscar?
O-Z-G-U-R, but it's with little dots, and I'm not good at those.
Oscar. Let's have a look, see what this question is. Hi Mike, bought an MSI B650-S Wi-Fi with Viper Venom 6400 CL32 2x16 gig RAM kit. Very nice. But there's no Expo RAM on the box or something. Am I going to get trouble with these RAMs? No, this is actually a really common, slight misconception. In the early days of RAM, especially DDR5 with the AM5 platform, people were always kind of like, right, I must have Expo, and if you're on Intel, you must have XMP. Now, you don't necessarily have to have Expo. The only thing is with Expo is it has been generally checked and will specifically work with AM5 stuff. But that isn't always the case. Quite often you'll find that DDR5 RAM, you can just hit XMP or Expo, whichever you've got. The really important thing to do with DDR5 memory, especially on the AM5 platform, is the first thing you want to do is enable your XMP or your Expo profiles. As soon as you've done that, head straight into Context Restore or Memory Context Restore. Turn that on as well. And the last one, which is actually really, really important, is to enable Memory Power Down. So Context Restore and Memory Power Down kind of work in conjunction with each other. And potentially if you don't have the Memory Power Down enabled, actually turned on, that will give you blue screens. And for anyone who's watched the DDR5 video I did on how to set it up, I actually did have a blue screen the first time I rebooted because I didn't have that enabled. So enabling power down it's almost like a checksum. So DDR5 memory can go up and down in terms of the memory, or sorry, the voltages it uses. And Context Restore will try to reapply the last previous known working settings of your RAM. So if you don't have power down enabled, it might try to use a different RAM voltage at certain times, which causes your blue screen because your RAM's trying to do something, it hasn't got the appropriate voltage, so you get a blue screen of death. So that is what you need to do. Should be okay. Yep, I think that answers it. Dutch Jan says, I have 5 large screens here, so why should I watch on a 4-inch? Good point. Pete Elman's with us as well. How you doing, Pete?
Ugly Bob says let's get to 69 likes and I'll give some memberships again. That's Ugly Bob says we want to get to 69 likes. So please help Ugly Bob out and us at the same time. He says if you do, he'll give away some channel memberships and we will do some as well. What was I going to read? Oh yeah, Lucky Man. See, Lucky Man is coming in with the humour there. Says, I don't drink, but I still get legless for nothing. Lol, my humour is attempting to get back. So, Lucky Man, I think you wouldn't mind me saying to kind of clarify that. He actually had to have an amputation, which is obviously, it's not a laughing matter at all. But like anything, you do have to kind of, it kind of is what it is, and you have to make the best of things for anybody and everybody. Whatever you're going through, whatever your situation is, like with me, my eyesight is failing and I'm getting headaches. But I just put my glasses on and laugh about it, and it is what it is. Now, obviously, that is a far less extreme example, but hopefully you know what I'm saying. David Aiken, come on.
David Aiken. Mike, please end my misery. Have you really spent £970 on a beautiful GPU? No, I haven't. I have definitely not spent £970 on a GPU. That is 100%. So just to go through it, some of the things that we will be taking a look at potentially and unboxing on tonight's. Jason was off to bed. Good night all. How you doing, Jason? Thank you for your super chats and good night, good evening. Some of the things we'll be taking a look at tonight. So we've got some network switches, which we were talking about in last week's stream. So these are the new 2.5 gigabit Ethernet switches with SFP port, or ports, depending which one you go for. So we got 2 of these. I actually ordered one as well, so I've got 2 of the 8s and I've got a single 4 port as well. Because Bob ordered that one and it's like, I really need an 8 port. So he ordered another one. So Bob, thank you very much. Much appreciated. These are not cheap, but they are considerably cheaper than what they have been or can be. And just for illustrations purposes. So this is the one I bought myself quite a while back now. This is the ASUS store switching store, the 205. So that's a 5-port 2.5 gigabit Ethernet hubs or switch. At the moment, these retail for about £130. Whereas this little 4-port with the 2 extra SFP 10 gig ports, that's about 35 quid, I think, at the moment. Maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the tax, but I'm sure it's around about 35 quid. So about £100 saving for effectively the same thing. Or you can go for the 8-port version. These are at the moment £38 something on AliExpress, so plus your VAT. I think I paid in the end, it was about £45.
but for an 8-port switch with a 10 gig uplink, 46 quid, absolutely phenomenal. Still nearly £100 cheaper than the 5-port version of a kind of known brand. So these are absolutely excellent. I've done the
Bob said, yeah, 45 quid for the 8-port one.
45 quid. Thank you, Bob. Amazing, amazing value for money. And actually, I've been doing some testing today, and you're actually watching this stream on, well, you're not watching it on, obviously, but you're watching it through one of these. So I've actually taken my other QNAP switch from the front room, and I've switched over to one of this, and it's running on it, and it seems to be
Someone deleted my question, Johnny.
going okay.
Can you put it again?
Yeah, put your question again if someone's deleted it, as long as it's obviously
My message
sensible.
disappeared. Did it have a link in it?
Yeah, if you put a link in it or something, it might have got auto-moderated. So anyway, thank you very much, Bob, for these. These are from a company called Hisource. And there's an absolute ton of these on the market. They're all basically the same internally, but they've got different looks in the front. There's one called Diavan or Duavan. There's one called Mimin as well. So basically there's loads of different brands on Amazon. So if you want them quicker, you can get them from Amazon. You're going to pay a premium on Amazon, but these have been actually phenomenal. I expected it to catch on fire basically, but it didn't. So I'm very pleased with that. So the 4-port one, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do this at the moment. So our broadband comes in the front room, which is where most of the stuff is. We then have a single cable going into this room, which then goes into another hub. And then we've got Wi-Fi mesh hubs or routers upstairs. So I'm thinking the 4-port one I might put over here, so I can plug stuff in here. I'm going to have the 8-port one over there. And I'll put some more ports in this room. And the other 8-port is in the front room at the moment. And that's working well. I am kind of almost tempted to put another 4-port in the front room as well. So give me 12 ports for a little bit of flexibility. But who knows? I need to run some extra cabling. So the SFP, which is a 10 gig, which is basically your uplink, I need to run some cables. So we're going to do a DIY video on that. So for those of you that like watching the sort of DIY aspects on the channel, we will be basically cutting holes in the floor and possibly getting Dave.
No, we've got holes in the floor.
We've got holes in the floor already. They're pre-drilled. I'll possibly be getting Dave.
Where you just chop a hole any random place in the middle of the floor in.
I do. You've got to make holes somewhere. You can't make an omelette without breaking some eggs, and I break a lot of eggs. Not many omelettes.
You just put a piece of furniture.
I have to send one of these wires from this room underneath the house into the front of the house, and at the moment there's a brick wall in between, but it's got narrow little gaps. So either I need a very, very clever drone, or potentially one of the kittens, if they're small enough still, if I can entice them from underneath the house to the other room, which might be a little bit dangerous, and I might end up having to take up the entire floor to rescue them. So that is definitely going to be a DIY video and a half.
I wonder if we could train them with a harness on.
We might have to do that. Well, they've got magnets on their collars, so I'm thinking if I attach a cable to the magnet and let them just run through, that might work.
Yeah, but if we can have them on a harness as well, then we can get them back, can't we?
Yeah. Right, do you want me to be, I'm going to get a mic, do you want a microphone?
No,
Sure?
1000%.
Okay. So, things that we're going to be talking about on tonight's stream, obviously the network switches, we kind of covered that now, so I won't go into too much depth. I bought a graphics card. Not exactly what you would think from the thumbnail, but it is actually in the thumbnail. So this was from our friends over at gpuused.co.uk. There was no money changed hands other than I paid for the graphics card full price. This is a Radeon RX6600 8GB version, 140 quid posted with a guarantee. I'm reasonably happy, other than the fact that it's a Gigabyte card and it's got more plastic than a credit card factory. It is so plastic. If anybody else has got one of these actually in the chat, please do let me know, because it does seem like it wants to fall apart. There doesn't seem to be a great deal holding it together, but that might just be a Gigabyte thing. They're not known for being the most well-built things from Gigabyte anyway, but still, there you go, 140 quid for an RX6600 8GB. I think done pretty well there, and actually in benchmarks tests really well, so happy days. Liking that a lot. We're going to be taking that apart shortly because from GPU used, it come across and it's basically, it's still got the security tags on there. So no one's ever taken it apart, so we're going to take a look inside, see how dusty it is, and see how well GPU used actually clean these things up before they go out. So I think that's an interesting thing to see, especially if the security thing is intact. Maybe the paste is hardened, maybe some of the thermal pads are starting to weep, whatever. So we'll be taking a look at that. Yes, Kath? Dom, question, sorry, I'm a network newbie, but can brands track you through a network switch? No. No, a network switch or a hub, whatever you want to call it, is just a way of basically having more Ethernet ports. So like on addressable RGB or fan hub, if you've got a single fan hub on your motherboard and you plug in like a 4-port hub, you plug it in and it basically thinks you've got 4 more fan ports. It doesn't know anything specific about those fan ports like RPM or the type of fan that's connected. All it sees is the fact that, well, you can plug more fans in. And in this case, you can just plug in more computers.
Old Man Withers? It's not really a question.
Old Man Withers, I got that model a couple of years back from CEX, returned, as it did feel cheap and was a bit too big. It does feel absolutely terribly cheap. Like,
especially.
Yeah. The comparison between that and a certain other graphics card we might be taking a look at. Old Man Withers says, I think it cost 200 quid back then, second hand. They are around about 200 quid brand new now. Sometimes a little bit more. So I think 140 used is actually not too bad at all. I'm quite pleased with that. Something else I'm quite pleased with as well. Ugly Bob again. 1more Sonoflow headphones. Don't think I've opened these at all yet, have I? Don't think I have. Nope, they're still absolutely boxed. So recently we looked at the Sonoflow SE, which is like the cut down version of this. These are the high resolution audio versions. So I think it's LDAT. I should put my glass on so I could see. It's hard focusing. Oh yeah, LDAC says on the side. So these support LDAC. So you've got really, really nice sound quality coming from these. I'll be interested to see if these you can actually plug a 3.5mm jack into. But noise cancelling, headphone profile or speaker profile done by a Grammy Award sound engineer or sound designer. So yeah, pretty good. We'll be taking a look at those possibly as well. Something else this week, if you follow us on the Discord or maybe you're a subscriber and you check out the notifications every now and then, you may well have seen the other day it posted what I think is actually the deal of the year so far, which is just over here. Oh, god damn it, these are heavy. So this was a CPU cooler which I found on Amazon. This is the Enermax, the ETS T50 Axe. 140mm fans on here. Massive cooler, supports up to 230 watts TDP, allegedly. £11.50. I could have sworn this was going to turn up as just the fan itself or an accessory or something. But no, it turned up as the actual whole thing. I was absolutely amazed. So I actually thought, well, for £11.50, you've got to have one in stock, haven't you, really? So I ordered 2 to see what actually come out. Now there is going to be some downsides of this. It isn't LGA 1700 supported, so it supports LGA 1200. This is a slightly older model. It does come with a weird air guide thing on the back, so you can twist it around. It's got like vents or louvers, slats that you can actually move around, so you can angle the air either in some direction just by twisting it. So yeah, that's a little bit different. Damn it, these are annoying me. Patented twister bearing technology with a mean time between failure of 160,000 hours. How long is 160,000 hours in days? That has got to be lots. I'm not sure. So high pressure blades. I'm trouble with my words today. Let's have a drink. Mike says that is incredible value. You damn right.
Chris Hartford got 2 of those. Must have been a price error.
Ugly Bob says 6,500 days, roughly. So that is 6,500 days, so that is what, 20 million years? No. How many years is that? 6,500 days. So let's say 64, no 65, divide by 36. I have no idea.
20.
A long time. About 18 years, Ugly Bob. 6,666 days, Charles Ballard says. That's very, very satanic. Damn you, satanic Enermax cooler. Hopefully it won't be satanic and curse my PC. That'll be all I need. So anyway, those were absolutely brilliant. Tony Ward says, what about the new Arctic AIO? They're on deal, worth getting them in. Now, we probably need to talk about this a little bit with the whole Arctic AIO thing. I've seen the reviews, I've seen the technology. They look great, they really do, and they perform excellently. They look nice, they appear to be somewhat easy to install. I have a slight question, but it's not meaning to seem disingenuous, but that's a very English thing to do. I don't want to sound rude, but that's the prefix. So, Arctic have made all these changes to the design. So the actual radiator itself is a couple of millimeters thicker. It's got bigger fins in it. It's got longer, fatter pipes, and would appear to be holding more fluid. So bigger number better generally. So the more fluid you've got in an AIO, the more it can absorb heat. They've redesigned the pump completely. They've redesigned the actual copper base and the fins. The fins are even bigger, and there's more of them. What else is it? So new pump, new impeller, faster fans. Basically the whole thing is revamped. But it only seems to do about a very, very small percentage. In terms of degrees Celsius, it's only about 2 or 3 degrees Celsius better than the existing Freezer 2. So, I don't know. They seem to have made a lot of changes to it for a very, very minimal improvement. Yes, it is an improvement, and generally it seems to be actually a little bit cheaper than the previous model. So it almost feels like Arctic have gone down the whole Nvidia route, whereas it's basically the same card, but it's using less power. So looking at the kind of 3060 Ti, sort of 4060 Ti, yes, it's basically the same, but it uses less energy, and it's newer, and it's got some bells and whistles like RGB. So yeah, I'm really struggling with the whole concept of it. And I think from the reviews that I've watched already, people are like saying, well, this has changed, and this is the new stuff. But then you look at the raw performance and it's like, well, yeah, it's still really good. But the previous one was really good. So why bother? Loads and loads and loads of changes to get basically nothing done. It just seems very weird. Oh yeah, and they've thrown in that contact frame for Intel, which is possibly not great anyway. So I don't know. It's a very interesting product, and it's a new design. So in itself, a new design is great. Much like the cars, when they went from like the Ford Escort Mark III to the Mark IV, it was essentially the same car. It just had a bit of a facelift to it. And I think that is what the Freezer 3 is basically. It's like a facelifted Freezer 2. They've made some modifications, but it's still just a very good cooler for an extremely good price. So I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments section. I think it's going to be one of those things that if you already own, like with graphics cards, if you already own a good graphics card, it's very hard to justify replacing it just because it's the newer, slightly better thing. I don't know. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't.
Pump cap is removable.
Yeah, the pump cap is removable. William Bodie says, where is Stuart? Good question. I don't know. Well, I kind of do, but I don't. Irie Open says they're on sale on their website too. And the Liquid Freezer 240 currently is at €59, says Dutch Jan. Where is Aletta? Good question. Their electricity is about to become 25% more expensive in Germany. Jesus. Wayne Taylor says, I can't see the point for such minimal gain. Well, that's kind of where I am. I think if you don't have one and you're looking to upgrade from air cooler, then it's the obvious choice because it is really good and it's extremely good value for money. The whole kind of Intel mountain frame thing aside. Hey, Captain White, how you doing? David Underhill says, the big question, where's David Underhill? Were you there? I can see you. So yeah, I don't know. The Arctic Freezer 3, it does look like a very interesting product. And I think it's, if anything, it's going to shake up the rest of the AIO cooler market. Because now you've got 2, maybe 3 players that are really kind of saying, right, okay, like, it's a 360mm radiator. It's a pump and some fans. There's only so much that you can justifiably charge for it. So Thermaltake are doing some really good stuff. Very cheap. Sort of 40, 50 quid for a decent AIO. 240 or 360. You've also got Arctic kind of falling into that same category now. I'm not too sure how they're managing to do it, because I'm pretty sure Arctic is based in Germany. And everything in Germany costs more. So either they're having them produced and assembled elsewhere to save money. I'm not too sure what the deal is with that. But certainly, I think it's going to have a knock-on effect, because even people such as Thermaltake, which makes some pretty good stuff, so their TH360 version 2, which I actually got up on the shelf up there. Very nice looking cooler, but effectively it's the same sort of thing. The only thing is you've got the LCD types. Actually, have you got LCD on that? No, you haven't. You've just got LED. So really, that should be a little bit cheaper. They have been going for about £70–80. Yeah, maybe they are going to have a little bit of a kind of bit of a reality check. Maybe prices are going to tumble, which actually is going to be good for everybody, I think. These glasses are very annoying. Taylor Wayne says, I mean, I saw the Gamers Nexus review, but I came away thinking, so what? Yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking myself, which is why I did mention actually on one of the posts on Facebook that Arctic posted about it, the new thing. I just said, wonder when I'll get my review sample. Now, our contact at Arctic, I think, didn't she go off and have a baby or something?
I think she did.
Yeah, whoever it was, our contact at Arctic, went off, had a baby, passed over to someone else, and I think that was around the time I kind of lost interest a bit and just didn't really chase it up. So I've not really been in contact with them. But I kind of would like to try it. Also, though, the compatibility side of things, I don't think it works on older Intel platforms. So LJ1200 and the 115X range, I don't think it fits on those at all. But I've not had one, so I don't know for sure. And I don't think anyone's actually mentioned it. Kaiser Solo says, I got the 240 Arctic Freezer 3. It's a lot better on what was a great product. Note, the current special price will go away after May. It's introductory. Yeah, which makes me, it seems like a weird thing to do. Like, not many companies will do introductory pricing. Some companies will do, like, early investors, or, like, if you kickstart a program, you get it cheaper because you're in there first, you're investing. It makes me wonder, because Arctic have been, I don't know. It feels like Arctic have kind of lost some of their shine, especially when it comes to things like their air coolers. But back in the day, the freezer range, the Freezer 64 going as far back as that. You had the Freezer 34, the eSports Duo, the Freezer 35, the A35s and that kind of stuff. They were brilliant, and at the time they were all really competitive pricing. But it got to around about the sort of COVID era when Arctic products just seemed to go really silly expensive.
It's 23rd anniversary sale.
Yeah.
Amateurs.
And I don't know if they've had some kind of major shake-up and they've thought, well, we're losing market share, we're maybe losing hearts and minds a little bit. We need to do something, we need to make a stand. So this is our new product. Let's do it at a ridiculously cheap price and try and gain back some of that market share. Maybe that is it, maybe it isn't. I honestly could not, I got no idea. It's just the thoughts that are going around my head. Maybe that is the case. But yeah, Arctic have been they're a good company, been around a long time. Even so much as they actually used to make ATX, well, they weren't technically ATX, they made BTX form factor cases which fitted an ATX motherboard. I think it was called the Silentium T1 and Silentium T2, two very unusual cases, but basically completely silent. They were absolutely fantastic. But yeah, they seem to be a decent, genuine company. I wonder if they are finding some financial hardships. Again, I have no idea. It'd be interesting actually, I'm not sure if in Germany or wherever they're based, if you can actually look at financial documents, look at their postings and seeing what their revenues and profits have been like. Maybe it is one of those things where they're just trying to generate some money, get some income. Everyone is finding things tough these days. No reason why they shouldn't as well. So maybe they are doing this kind of big push to try and generate some income. It would make sense. But then hopefully they could go back to seeing the error of their ways and start reducing prices and having things like the Freezer 34s at like 20 quid a pop rather than the usual kind of 30 to 40 pounds a pop, which is a big jump. Anyway, I've got that out of my system. I always wonder about these companies because they go, like, there's a lot of them that do it. They start off as a smallish brand and they do some very, very cool stuff at very excellent prices. And then they seem to get a little bit kind of, I don't know, cocky or maybe slightly arrogant towards the customers, and they start inflating the prices and people stop buying and they lose their kind of favorability. Maybe it's the same as that. Cooler Master were exactly the same. When they started off with the Cooler Master Evo 212, that was a fantastic cooler and it was like the best thing on the market. And it was about £14–15. And then it gradually crept up and up and up and up. And now like a regular Evo 212 type cooler, you're about 35–40 quid. Which is for basically the same thing with, again, that very minimal improvement in performance. Anyway. Bob says 5 more likes. So let's, I've got an option here, engage with audience. What can I do? No, I can't do that. How do I do the giveaway thing, Kath? Yeah, go on. We'll get Kath to do some giveaways for some memberships. So YouTubers now got the option so you can give away memberships, a month membership. Doesn't cost you anything and you basically get to watch the videos a little bit earlier than other people. There's certain other perks. You get a little bit of a level up on our Discord, so you get put into the VIP rank, which actually at the moment doesn't really do a lot for you, but hey, you're a VIP, so what the hell.
We have 10.
We've got 10 to give away.
So do 5 now.
So hang on, let's see how many more likes we got to get. I can't see the likes on here.
You have to close the chat and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I can't do that.
Can't bother to.
Calf can't be bothered. I'm slightly regretting having chicken for tea now. I'm feeling a bit dehydrated.
Well, Lucky Man says there's 7 likes. Ugly Bob says 5 more likes. And William says it's 31 likes, so I don't know how.
Right, refresh your pages and the likes will change. Oh, actually, I've got a thing. Oh, concurrent viewers likes. It doesn't show me there. Oh, it does. Stream settings. No. Analytics. No.
Should we just give now anyway?
Chat rate. No, it doesn't say it. Oh,
3 more.
Oh, there we go. 1 more like. It's showing 68 here. So 1 more like and Bob's off to the races.
69.
69 likes. There we go. Whoop, whoop. O'Reilly says my likes are frozen at 10. Yeah, I don't know what it is. You might have to refresh the page. Or reload the page. Lucky Man says, can't afford a membership at the moment as I have to save up for a new walking aid. Sorry. Oh, bless. We never know, you might be lucky. Charles Ballard says, I see the likes as 34. Sky says, my likes are frozen at 12. Yeah, refresh the page. There we go. Ugly Bob's gifted some memberships there. So Bob has gifted 5 Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How-To memberships. And Charles Ballard has got one. Rampage Uploads and Livestream was also gifted a membership by Ugly Bob. Firestorm was also gifted a membership by Ugly Bob. Also Atomic Sub. There you go. You can now access Mike's Unboxing videos. Well, you can now see the membership ones, or membered ones. So you get them a little bit earlier. Whether you want to get them earlier or not, I don't know. Who knows? And O'Reilly's just done the same. O'Reilly's gifted 5 Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How-To memberships. Thank you very much. One has gone to Rob. Shags the Hobo has been gifted one by O'Reilly also. Neil Beaumont also gifted Blaze 718. And Paul Bakewell was also gifted. Charles says, I updated and now I see 72. There you go. There's lots of memberships. So that's you've gifted 10 between you. So it's only right that we match that. So we'll do 10 extra memberships now to lucky Mike's Unboxing viewers. So there we go. There's the first 5. So we've got Jason Woods, Dave Aiken, Lord Erectus, JJ UK1, Machiavelli 2127.
And go again.
Oh, I really want Lucky Man to get a membership. I really do.
Gift now.
Do another 5. Let's see what happens. Come on, fingers crossed for Lucky Man. There we go. There's another 5. Ivory Wolfman, G-Zone 2.0, Mr. J, Peter S, Sir Larry the Cat. Oh, I'm so gutted. Why has Lucky Man not got a gifted membership? God damn it. I don't think we've got any more we can give away, have we? No, we'll have to wait until we get our next allocation. So for those 20 new members, you have now got a month's worth of free membership. So again, you can watch the videos early, comment on videos, etc. Oh, and there's Ugly Bob. He's chucked in another 5. So that's 25. Please let Lucky Man be on this list. Oh. So Richard was gifted a membership by Ugly Bob. Efi was gifted a membership. David's Drones, Adventures and Gaming. Mark Marlowe. This Way Up. There you go. Lucky Man still didn't get a membership. See, he's not that lucky. Really need to change that name. Just put un in front of it. Unlucky Man. Criminal. Absolutely criminal. William Bodie says, Ugly Bob, thanks. Now I got water in my eyes. Oh, bless your hearts. So, Rick H says, how do you do memberships? So memberships, you can sign up. So there's a membership tier on YouTube. I think it's £3.99 a month. And that is basically a way of supporting the channel. And also you get early access to videos. Also, your comments will be highlighted for us, for me and Kath, when videos go out. And if there's any questions, members get slight priority on the list. Although saying that, everybody gets answered, so it isn't too much of a problem. Also, you get the VIP membership role on our Discord. So if you're on Discord and you've been gifted a membership, let me know on the Discord chat and we'll give you the VIP role. The VIP role, I think, if you're on Patreon, you get it automatically. For memberships, is not integrated yet, so we have to do it manually. Dutch Jan says, can't become a member, is something with PayPal. I think you can sign up for memberships with a debit or credit card, or you can use PayPal. Not entirely sure on that, to be honest with you. I think you can do with some. Nick Barnes says this is a clone stand-in. Riley says that is what I hate about random rolls. Yeah, it is unfortunate. Never mind. So there we go. There is a grand total of 25 new memberships handed out. Happy days. Rolly Fingers says, would you advise against using a credit card if you don't have PayPal to purchase keys for Windows from CD Keys? I've always used premium CD keys, and we have generally always used PayPal. More for convenience than anything, because it's just another place that will have your credit card details. Saying that, I think they use what is it? There's a pay thing which goes through QuickBooks type thing. I can't think. It's affiliated with QuickBooks, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Next time I do it, I'll do a credit card and see how it goes through. Gary I can never pronounce that name. Gary, how do you pronounce your surname? Can you syllableize it in the chat for me?
Oh, what's the stuff? I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for gifting those 5 Mike's Unboxing memberships.
Oh, hold on.
So Dirty Duck UK,
I'm just doing all the wrong emoticons because I'm getting...
SPG33, Stephen OBG. Yeah, you know me. You're down with OBG. Other beggars, goats. Jason Tayo was gifted a membership as well. Thank you, Gary, for that. Much appreciated. And Fishy Nothing. PayPal is best. Yeah, I think PayPal is possibly... PayPal is probably the safer way to go. For most things, really. Although, most credit cards, depending where you live, they've got really good protections on them. I've never had problems. Gary says... Siatka. Right. Thank you. Thank you, Gary Siatka. Can you put it in brackets after your name? Just so that when I read it, I can... Siatka. Actually, if I break it down. Siatka. Thank you, Gary. Much appreciated. O'Reilly says, is Kath not keeping up with the number of new members? No, she's not. The shame of it.
No, I've got Flame on my desk, so I can't type very well.
Flame's taking up way too much room.
He is, and it's all going a bit fast at the moment.
Sky says, yeah, PayPal gives you one more layer of protection. Yeah, that's true. I think I would probably use PayPal. I use it out of convenience, really. Ricardo says, what do you think, Mike? Some tech channels are thinking that Air CPUs could be over soon, and then only... Oh, right, sorry, yeah. I get it. What do you think that air-cooled CPUs could be over soon and there'll only be AIOs? I don't think so. I think for a lot of mainstream processors and the kind of mainstream, mid-range and high-end, they do all benefit from being on an AIO. Unless you want to spend the kind of Noctua D15, Dark Rock Pro 5, those kinds of prices for a very good air cooler. It's a ridiculous thing that these processors now are designed to basically try to run to their thermal maximum, which is just ridiculously high. Nobody wants to see their processor running at 95 degrees Celsius, not in reality, but unfortunately, it's the way things are at the moment. Thank you, Gary. That's very appreciated. Wow, here comes Dom. Dom's gifted 10 Mike's Unboxing reviews and how-to memberships. Please, fingers crossed, everybody. Let's pray that Lucky Man gets a membership right now. Please. Here we go. So Ricardo got a membership. Randy G gets a membership. Shearer69, Kiefer Mercer, Sobriety is Rad 33, Bucket, Tree Fella, Pi was gifted a membership, Aaron Large, Macaulay 4431. Dang. There can't be many people left here that haven't got one. Oh, lucky man. What can I say? The YouTube analytics are going to go nuts, because YouTube's going to look at all these memberships going in and thinking, what's going on? This dude got an OnlyFans thing going on. You never know.
That's sock, isn't it?
It is the W sock on the floor. Freedom House 1984 says, hello everybody, how you doing? Tech Soul says, at Lucky Man, sad face for you, mate. Not so lucky. I keep on saying it. It's the worst choice of name ever. Really, ever. Wayne Taylor says, I haven't got one. You never know. The night is still young.
We will do more next week, and if we don't, remind us.
Yeah, if we don't give away memberships, do remind us, because YouTube give it to us so we can do it. But thank you, Dom. That is very much appreciated. What a fantastic community. There we go. Unlucky man has changed his name. It's now...
Do you know, I clicked on that heart just now. What does it actually do, apart from block what people are writing?
I'm not sure. Click on the heart. What happens when you click on the heart?
It comes up with more options, and it sends little hearts up, but...
Yeah, I think that just shows that the stream is appreciated. There's congratulations as well. See, everyone's going to do it now. Oh, dear. Dear, dear me. O'Reilly says, the thing is about luck is, I reckon I use mine all regularly every day and have none left for winning the jackpot on the Euro Millions lottery. I think the Euro, all the lotteries, it's one of those things that you kind of aspire to win. But I think if you look at pretty much almost every single person who's won the lottery, like a big amount, they've always had basically negative things happen to them, or they've had a negative experience. Yes. So, discussing big coolers, let's have a look at this this Enermax one. So this was £11.50 on Amazon. I haven't opened that one yet. I'm going to leave that one closed because I'm actually going to do a giveaway on one of these, because I don't really need two. To be fair, I probably don't need one of them. But for £11.50, commercialism rules, I was in there.
Oh, shouldn't you give a shout out before you do that to Glenn?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Shall I put the link in?
Please do.
So I can find it.
Big shout out to Alistair Glenn, who is the, I believe he's the owner, or at least the co-owner of Reaper Online Racing. So this week, well, this weekend, no, it's 12 hours, isn't it? So they started midday. So they should be finishing about midnight. So Glenn will be doing the 12-hour Bathurst race. So if you're into iRacing or sim racing, that is basically what Glenn has been doing. Glenn's one of the moderators on our Discord and also general all-round nice guy. And it was actually very cool because I knew it was coming up, and last week I think in the stream I said, oh yeah, talking about I need to speak to you. And I actually wanted to sponsor Reaper Online Racing in some way, because Glenn does a lot of stuff for us, and he's a good bloke.
I think Dave just read Welly Bob's comment.
Oh, Dave's hidden. I wanted to do something nice to them, so I wanted to sponsor him in some way, shape or form. And I asked the question, he said, send me over some graphics, I'll put them on the stream and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, oh, cool. So he sent the pictures back of like the mock-ups, and I said, right, that's great, how much do I owe you? And he said, don't worry about it, like I'm really happy, because quite often in our Discord, if there's things that I've got, like extra view items, cases, stuff like that I don't want hanging around, I'll just get rid of them for basically kind of next to nothing, really. So Glenn's had quite a decent share of those. So he said, I'm just really happy to get stuff from you. Let it be my way of saying thanks for all the things you do for us. So there you go. So we are kind of technically sponsoring, although I didn't sponsor him, so I didn't give him any money or anything. But I wanted to give him like 50 quid or 100 quid or something, just to say like thank you. And yeah, if you can pay a visit over to Reaper Online Racing, leave a like, just say hi in the chat, say you're watching the stream. Mike said to come over, and I'm sure he'd appreciate that as well.
Unlucky man?
Unlucky man. Serious point. New use on Mike's Unboxing on Oldmo. Oh, you should have warned me. You should have warned me. Oh, that's unbelievable. So, lucky man. Bless him. He's had his amputation done. He says, serious point. New use on the old Mike's Unboxing hat. It keeps my stump warm. Way to go, Mike and Cav. Oh, dear. I'm actually visualising that. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Oh, it's good to have a sense of humour. It really is.
Richard asked, are those the £11.50 coolers?
These are the £11.50 coolers that we posted, yeah. So let's do a quick unboxing on this and see what it's all about. If I go for the overhead camera, and if possibly by the magic of science I can actually zoom in. Oh, look at that.
Have you taken that bit off the screen? I'm a bit behind now.
Clear. Yes, I have. Yes. There we go. So nice little fan there. PWM, of course, because this is the year 2000. Not really, well, there are some grommets on there, rubberized. And the fan model number, if anyone's interested, is the AF-T50-14. So this has a rotational speed of between 500 and 1000 RPM. So this is going to be really quiet.
It's a bit blurry. Or is that my screen?
I think it might be your screen. It might be the camera, because I am zoomed in somewhat. Let me zoom back out a bit. It might get better. It might not. So there's the fan. The cooler itself is an absolute beast. So we've got 5 heat pipes, I think it is.
You've gone to sleep behind the no, Dave.
Oh, I've made a right mess of that. So we've got 5 heat pipes, exposed heat pipes. And let's do the nail test to see how flat it is. Wow, that is very flat. Very, very flat. It is like a witch's proverbial. Let's have a look. So we've got a flat edge here. And there is absolutely no daylight at all under there. I guess we're looking for microscopic differences, but that appears to be. Actually, it could be lapped off a little bit. But it does feel very smooth. So sweatback design. 2 mounting points. We've got this thing on the back, so this is the louver, or louver. So you can angle that, so you can angle it towards whatever you want to angle it towards, or if homie don't play that, you can just take it off and just be a normal human being. Access to the screw at the back as well, so that will be almost, well, I was going to say it's going to be fanless, but it won't be. So getting a screwdriver into there is going to be slightly problematic, unless you've got a ridiculously long screwdriver, which fortunately I have, so motherfucker. Right, so there is the, hopefully you can see the problem there. Yep, there we go. There. The problem is we didn't have a long enough screwdriver, so we have got one. I will have to dig it out. Thank you, William Bodie. Bless your heart, sir.
Who was it who loved those screwdrivers? Oh, that. Who was it?
I can't remember.
They loved them, didn't they?
So with that actually being on, that is going to cover up that front screw, but still you're going to have some really good RAM clearance there. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how well this does. Let's have a look and see what the mounting hardware is like. Well, what else we've got here? Destructions, yada yada yada. There is our fixings. I cannot believe this was £11.50.
Mike said I paid 40 quid for a Be Quiet Pure Rock 2. It looks just as good for a quarter of the price.
I know, it's mad. I wish I'd have bought more.
Keep your eye on Queen's Post, would you?
Yeah, on the community posts, whenever there's anything like this which crops up, we always make sure to post them. And also in our Discord as well, in the Bargains No Chat section, which is completely free to join. So we got, what's that? Yeah, just have to have 17 memberships. So you have the AM4/AM5 brackets there, I'm guessing. That could be Intel. They've got a Intel and AMD backplate, which I guess you probably don't need to use. I would thought you can use those screws straight down through. So we're going to be looking at not using that. So you'd probably screw that into your existing AM4 mountings or AM5, possibly even AM3. And then maybe those will go on the top or the sides. Actually, no, you wouldn't need those, would you? You don't need those. I don't know. I'm confused. Where's the instructions? I'll put them back in the box. It can't be that hard to do. Or maybe it is, that's why it's so cheap. So, LGA 775, don't want none of that. AMD installation, so maybe you do have to use the back plate, which is a bit of a shame. I don't really like using the back plates if I can help it.
Yeah, Pops. I got Dave.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be a back plate job.
Poppy.
I can't see how it can be. Oh, there we go. So why have we got those? Right, so yeah, you have to use the back plate, which is a little bit of a inconvenience. So it's the usual sort of thing. So you put those through, they kind of lock into place. You've then got a spacer, which would go on through there. And then that goes on the top. And then the cooler attaches to those rings. So yeah, a few extra steps there, but if it does a good job, then I think it should do, because that is a big old heatsink, and with those 5 heat pipes as well, it should do a pretty good job. So we'll be doing a review on there, or at least I hope I will. I've got so many things to catch up on, it's not even silly. Well, we are getting there, and hopefully this week Colin Hilton is going to be coming down to pay us a visit, and is bringing down his new motherboard, processor, etc, etc. So Colin is doing a very substantial upgrade. So he's bought himself the Z790 Tomahawk motherboard, DDR5, 64 gigs of Corsair Vengeance, I think, or Corsair Platinum. I'm not too sure, one of those two. Also, the Intel i9 14900K, I think, or a 14700. I think it's the 14900. He's basically gone completely to town on it. And why not? Hey, if you've been on the earth long enough and you've paid your dues, then why not treat yourself? So yeah, we'll be putting that together. He's going to be dropping it down on Tuesday. I wasn't too sure whether we'd be doing it all in one day and then him going away with it, but I think because of the complexity of it, and also being able to do some videos on the individual components as well, then I'm going to basically try and get it all done in a couple of days, and then he'll pick it up towards the tail end of the week, which will be awesome. Be nice to get that done for him. I've been meaning to do that for so long, and I've been feeling like an absolute bastard for leaving him hanging, because he actually bought all that stuff for his 80th birthday, which was back in the end of December, almost New Year. So it's kind of 2 months or so since I said I would do it, but it has been a very busy period. Not that I need an excuse, but like everything, life takes over eventually, and you have to kind of just sometimes admit defeat. There's been a few times the last couple of months that it's really been like, why am I doing this to myself? I really don't know, but I'm finding my my feet a little bit more. Maybe it's down to the new diet, I don't know.
And longer days.
Longer days, the sun's shining a little bit. It's still bloody cold. It's like 4 degrees.
We had memories on my Snapchat, didn't we, of you 2 years ago, sunbathing.
2 years ago yesterday, I was in the garden sunbathing with the cats. Whereas today, if I went out sunbathing, I would probably need treatment for hypothermia. Ricardo says, what a beautiful Air CPU fan. Caught my eye. Well, hopefully it performs as good as it looks. I think it does look actually really good.
David says probably the glasses.
Probably the glasses. It might be. I have had them for a long, long time. I've just never worn them.
You have worn them.
Well, I have worn them occasionally, but it's a rarity. That's a strong magnet on the back of there. I'm not too sure about this fan though. 1000 RPM doesn't seem like a great deal, but it does move a lot of air. So anyway, so there is that. What a fantastic deal! £11.50. Isn't that just insane? But that's the way it goes sometimes with Amazon. Let's have a look, see what your question is. Probably the glasses. A pimp my PC video. Could well be.
Fantastic.
Captain Erroneous says, Mike, looking good. Lost some weight. I don't think so. I probably have lost a bit of puffiness at my face because of my diet. So, not if you're carrying a little bit more timber than you should do, if you're on the sort of more carnivore side diet, you will lose a little bit. But some people, if they're quite slim anyway, eating normal diet, when they go carnivore, they get a little bit puffy.
What are you trying to say?
Well, that is the way it is. So if you're naturally quite slim and you've got quite a sort of hollow face or a slightly sunken face, eating a meat diet will puff you out a little bit because the collagen and all that kind of stuff that's in it. Whereas if you're a tubby bugger like me, and then you go on it, you kind of, because you're not eating all the crappy carbs, you tend to slim down a little bit in your face. It could be the glasses as well. I don't know. It might even be the camera lens. I don't know. But thank you. It's very kind. Matthew Day says 64 gigs. I thought I was pushing the boat out with 32. Funny enough, well, actually, before we take a look at the Gigabyte card, which we're going to take that apart shortly, I should show you something which... now, our son, George, bless his heart, I don't think he'll mind. He has, or was diagnosed with some learning difficulties, let's say.
Got learning difficulties.
Or he has autism, which kind of, you associate one with the other to some extent.
He hasn't got learning difficulties, which makes
Yeah.
it difficult.
Yeah, he hasn't got specific learning difficulties, but he has autism, anyway. You understand where I'm coming from. So, bless him, he saves all his money, he doesn't really spend a great deal on stuff, and he saves up for stuff, and he gets quite obsessed with stuff. So, he had his last GPU upgrade, I think, in 2016, maybe. If I asked him, he would probably be able to tell me exactly.
And what day of the week it was.
And what day of the week it was. I know it was a Saturday, because it was from a local Facebook group member, Marek. And, no, actually, no, tell it wasn't Marek, was it? It was Nick, I think it was. Basically, this guy who used to strip down business PCs, and he'd get a bunch of EVGA graphics cards, and I think I bought two 1070s, a 1080, and a 1060. So I had the 1060 and the two 1070s, and George really had his mindset on a 1080 Founders Edition. So he's been using that in his PC, playing his games, editing his videos, and all that kind of stuff. And he's been waiting and waiting and waiting to upgrade. And he keeps on saying, I want to do an upgrade, I want to do an upgrade. It's like, well, we'll wait for the next graphics card to come out because the previous releases have been a bit crap. The 30 series came and went, and then the 40 series came out, and it's like, well, it's a lot of money for what it is. And recently the 4080 Super Founders Edition came out, and he loved the look of it. He didn't so much love the price of it, but he loved the look of it, and that was, he wanted an 80 class card because he had an 80 class card in his PC already, so he wanted another one. So most of you will know that the 4080 Super Founders Edition has been out of stock basically since release day. It came out on release day, they sold out within about an hour, if not less, and they've not been back in stock since. Luckily, yesterday, I can't remember who it was, I think it was Welly Bob actually in the chat on Discord, gave me a quick heads up, or gave the group a heads up saying that the 4080 Supers are back in stock on the Nvidia site. George is at work, so I was trying to contact him desperately saying, look, they're back in stock, do you want it? Just a heads up. So Snapchat, Messenger, text message, eventually got back, oh, yeah, I really do want one. So, well, you going to order it? You can't, he says, I'm at work, I can't do it. It's like, well, do you want me to do it? Do you want me to order it for you? He said, no, I don't want to get out. It's like, well, they might sell out, you never know, but it's entirely up to you, it's your money, you decide what you want to do. Got home yesterday, refreshed the page, still in stock, placed the order. I upset him because I typed in the details on the computer while he stood by the side of me, and I didn't put capital letters for his name or our address.
Disgusting.
Where it should have been, so that disappointed him. And actually, when he read the receipt and the invoice today, he still got upset because he actually went, George Churchill, no capitals. Bless him. But anyway.
That upsets me.
So, he got his 4080 Super delivered today. So I'm going to go and grab it now and we'll take a look. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves or talk to Kath. Back in the box.
Oh, you should. It's quite a nice
Right, bear with me.
big break it.
Christ, that's heavy.
I'm going to knock it off.
I'm getting greasy fingerprints on it. George's going to be pissed at me.
Do you want any more wood on the fire?
No, I don't think so.
No, you don't, no, yeah.
Yeah. I can't tell which way this is supposed to open. Oh, that way. That was a giveaway. No, that looks wrong. Oh well, what the hell. So, there we have
Answer Ugly Bob.
Ugly Bob. Hi Kath, how was your wedding anniversary? He's asking you, not me.
I know, but I can't get to my keyboard with flame crazy.
Yeah, it was good, and
Normal. And thank you for our present.
thank you for our gift, much appreciated.
Do you want me to get them?
I can't even remember what it was now. Oh, the cups, wasn't it? Yeah, go and grab them. You never know, we might even get something put in them. So, yeah, look at the size of this box. The box is huge. This actually came in 2 boxes outside of this box. So it came in its own Nvidia outer box, and then Scan had actually put it inside of another box. So it was about this big when it first came. And I was like, what the actual? Yeah, that's got a dress on.
That side's
Sorry.
alright.
So this is the box that it came in.
And then it's got an inner box.
So yeah, it was a big box. Interestingly, from McFarlane Packaging, which I used to actually order boxes from for stunt boxes for doing stuff. Dom's done another 10 gift boxing things, unboxing membership doodads. Please, let's hope that Unlucky Man gets one this time for all that is holy. Oh my goodness. So Greg Dodd was gifted a membership by Don M. Pooey Tiger, Thomas Vera, Riley G, Milch Monster, Ricky Bobby, great name, Nicholas Z Bearded, that's not even more good here, Andre, Adam Hooper, Edzet Zubu, I think, Jay Gordon says a new cat box. Yeah. Thank you, Dom, much appreciated for the memberships. That's, I mean, it's not, that's like 40 memberships we've given away today. Well,
Thank you.
it's between us. Ugly Bob says, shit, that's bigger than my PC case. It is actually bigger than some PC cases. It really is. So this is the 4080 Super from Nvidia. This is the Founders Edition card. And it's actually quite interesting that they've made it up from, it looks like recycled cardboard inside, but spray painted black, which is quite an interesting look. Yeah, very cool box. And from the overhead, you can see, sorry, that's my, I don't want to come off. Let's get some blue roll on the go.
Bit of spit and tissue. The 70s wet
Does that
wipe.
come off? That's not even, that must be some like proper chicken fat.
That's George, isn't it? That's that one.
Yeah. Right, so
What are you cooking?
let's actually let's flip that around so you can see we've done the what do they call that? There's a special name for that type of gloss, isn't there, where they put a bit of gloss onto a matte background. I can't think what they call it. Spot gloss, that's it. So spot gloss on the outside, 4070 RTX Super. And I might need to move my keyboard. So open the box,
You're just too moist today, Bab.
and there we go. There it is. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. The 4080 Super. What an absolute ridiculous monster of a card.
Be back a bit more.
That's about right now. What an absolute beast. Now, if we get a rule, so we're looking at 12 inches. It looks bigger than 12 inches, to be fair. And that's got to be a good 5 inches. It needs 5 inches.
You told me that was 8.
Oh God. And look at the heft of this thing. Look how deep that is.
Looks plasticky.
It's absolutely freezing cold. The whole thing is just a massive block of very, very cold and very cool looking metal. What an absolutely stunning design it really is. And it's so heavy.
Andy Archer, if the case is too small, George, I'll give you a £5 for it.
Sky says that is the same length as a Subway foot-long sub. It is. And it's got the abomination connector. It has. It really has. Although, I would argue, because this can take, or you can use up to, I think it's like 600 watts. Getting 600 watts over your regular...
Move the box, because it's a bit black.
Sorry.
No, they haven't said that, but it is a bit hard to see.
So yeah, bearing in mind that you can have up to 4 PCIe cables going into here, I think that is a much neater solution. And I'm guessing that lights up, or does it? Has that got RGB in there? It feels like there's a light behind it. Can't see if there is. Yeah, I think there is. I think that is illuminated. But what an absolute stunning piece of work.
Is he going to be pairing with it?
Now that is the question, because when it does light up white only. Okay. Processor wise, he's looking out for a 7800X3D, and he's still deliberating over what motherboard to get. Now, he was a little bit, not upset, but disappointed that this didn't have the silver wrap around the outside edge like the older Founders Edition cards. In fact, very much like the one in the background there. Because he wants to go with a white case and predominantly white stuff inside. So this potentially might jinx that somewhat. But it's just nuts. Absolutely nuts. And bear in mind that the PCB is only kind of there, and the rest of it is all metal. I'm not too sure how I feel about the slight indentation there. So there is like a flared section around the fans, kind of dips in a little bit there. I think that needed to be just flat, straight. And the depth of it is almost comedy, I think personally. It's absolutely huge. And it is a definite 3-slot card.
I swear that's the size Cream Eggs used to be.
Yeah, Cream Eggs and Kit Kats used to be this big in the 80s and 70s. But they certainly do know how to put a graphics card together. Although, for the best part of £1,000, you would expect them to get it right. You really would. Sky says, how much bigger is the 4090? I honestly don't know. I think this is the same size as a 4090. I did ask that question to somebody earlier, but I'm not that clued up on it. I would assume that the 4090 is the same size. Dutch Jan says, one ugly GPU. Welly Boss says, Mike, pre-bend the adapter if you're not using a new PSU. He will definitely be having a new PSU. Chances are I think he's going to rely on good old the Bank of Dad and the
the numerous power supplies I've got under the desk. So that'd be good. Did it come with a support leg? No. But I think it needs one. It definitely should. I would feel uncomfortable putting that into a PC without support at least there. Maybe in the middle as well. Because this is insanely heavy. That has got to be... It's got to be 1.5 kilos, if not more. I'm going to get the measure. Not the measure, the scales, that's the one. And have a look, because that has got to be... I don't know, it's just ridiculously heavy. And I would certainly say that it would massively benefit having a vertical mount. I think a vertical mount on this would be a sensible solution. And in fact, if you're going for a vertical mount, I would strongly consider what case you're getting and make sure it's got the strength there, because this is really heavy. That's the heaviest graphics card I've ever held. So we'll zero that out now.
You need your bathroom scales, not the dealer scales.
Yeah.
They're not our dealer scales. Battery's gone in them.
Fucking hell. Excuse my French.
How much? Let's guess.
2,000.
Oh.
Sorry. Feel free to guess. Most of you have seen it.
Oh, it's overhead, isn't it? That's why. Go on.
It's overhead.
That's all right. I didn't
Yeah.
realise
Has
that.
anyone seen? Ricardo says 2 kilos. Lucky Man says same size. The 4090 is the same size, is it?
2.136. Move your hand.
Close. 2.139.
What have you moved?
Motherfucker.
Move it. Into
Sorry,
the middle.
I've sworn way too many times then. I don't think it makes much difference where I move it to. These scales are actually relatively accurate. These are the scales that I try and use to actually send out stuff when people buy things from here. So there you go. Almost 2.2 kilos. Actually, I don't know what that is in the other format. Let's turn it to
Pounds and ounces.
Pounds and ounces. Does anybody know what pounds and ounces
Oh
are?
God, yeah. You should. That's how you buy weed.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever it was. There, look.
So 4 pounds and 11 ounces.
That's a stone, babe.
That's a stone.
It's not.
Kath's telling me to say things and I'm just saying them. I feel like I'm a politician and I've got someone talking into my ear. It's like, yes, we'll raise taxes. No, no, don't say that.
£4. 14 pounds is a stone, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You're so easy.
This is heavy. Very, very heavy. And if it doesn't work, 100% George will be sending that back because the postage price alone would be absolutely criminal. Oh dear. Anyway.
Oh, William Bodie.
What do you say?
The GPU is so beautiful, I can sit and look at it all day long.
It is. I think I would have preferred it to be silver rather than that gunmetal, personally. Christ, it is so heavy. But actually, that's what I was going to do. As a comparison, this toy, RX6600, anyone want to guess, before I put it on here, we in grams, yes. Anyone want to guess how heavy this is going to be in grams? Actually, I can put it on there. It's funny, because when I pull it over, this plastic bit feels like it's going to come off. Actually, I think it is going to come off. Anyway, I will put it on. How many grams do you think this is in comparison? So this is 2,139 grams. How much do you think the Gigabyte RX6600 triple fan, bear in mind, this is only a dual fan. How many grams? Welly Bob says 420. Sky says 5. Jay Gordon 750. Ugly Bob 1.1. Rolly Fingers 600. Nick Barnes says 600. William Bodie says 7,000 G. Charosa 1100, 1300, 800. Well, the closest so far was Rolly Fingers and Nick Barnes. Because if we go to the overhead camera, you should be able to see there. Move that slightly. 661. Let's see if we can get it to 666. No. You can tell how light it is because if I just touch my finger on there, it changes quite a bit. So yeah, this is a quarter of the weight, realistically. Andy Archer's come in with a super chat. £10 there. Thank you very much. So something towards the electricity bill when you fire it up. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Let's go on there. There we go. Something towards the electricity bill. Won't need it for the Eagle. Might need it for this. I would love to see what the idle wattage is of this. No doubt there's loads of reviews out there and somebody is going to say, oh, I know exactly what it is. I would say that this card under a normal Windows desktop idle without anything running, like without YouTube or anything, I would guess it's got to be about 20 watts. Maybe slightly less. I honestly don't know, but I'm guessing it's going to be about 20 watts. Maybe 16. I'm going to have look it up actually. I won't. Let's clear that. 1 million grams, says Bob. Has that gone? Yes, it has, yes. Excellent stuff. So, yeah, I think the closest was, yeah, Rolly Fingers and Nick Barnes said 600. Did anybody say 700? Because that would be quite close. Don says 780. Sky was quite close, 500. Jay Gordon, 750, still pretty close. Nick Barnes says it needs a white mub sticker. It's not a bad idea. Okay. Andy says, what do you guess will be the running wattage of the system, Mike? I'm not too sure. Welly Bob says mine's about 14.1 watts on idle. That is pretty good. Dom says the 6600 is a very power efficient. He probably meant the Nvidia card. I do know the idle wattage of this actually. The idle wattage of the 6600 is actually guess. Have a guess. So the Nvidia card, which is notoriously efficient, ran about 14 watts on idle, just on a Windows desktop with nothing running. How much do you think at 4K that this idles at? And I think you'll be very surprised. So Sky says 30 watts, Nick Barnes says 37 watts. Let's wait for some more. Hayden says 37, 22, 32, 15 says Ugly Bob. Dom M says 23. I'll let a few more of you try and guess. Jay Gordon says 8 watts. Atomic Sub says 40. Dutch Jan says my Red Devil 7600 XT is now at 12 watts. William Boda saying 14. Welly Bob's 26. Darren Jalome says 777. I hope your keyboard is stuck. Shrizo says 11. And Dave Andrew says my 6600 XT is currently driving 2 monitors, showing off, 4K and 1440p, and it's pulling 22 watts. Now hopefully you've got Mike's Unboxing stream running on one of those, so it's not entirely idling, but that's pretty good. Old Man Wither says 8 watts. Mark Berry says 25. Gary Siatka, yes, got it right. Unlucky Man says power consumption approx 246 watts during gameplay, 15 watts in idle. Mark Marlowe says 5 watts. 45 watts says Darren. Dutch Jan says my Red Devil 6700 XT now 12 watts with 3 monitors. Definitely showing off there. I will break your hearts and say that this card, under a idle condition, 4K monitor, 60 Hz refresh rate, although it didn't seem to make much difference, idle power consumption on the Windows desktop 3 watts. Yes, 3 watts. And that is just running over a standard HDMI cable into that monitor there. And I actually did that yesterday. I was doing some testing to make sure that it was all okay, and it has been absolutely fine. But 3 watts, I was absolutely gobsmacked, because the 6800, which I've got as well, I can get that down to about 7 or 8 watts on the desktop. So 3 watts on there, I was like, yes, this is the card you put in your PC if it's on all day, because it's just so low wattage. It's probably using less watts than onboard graphics. It really is. Obviously, when the fans kick in and you're playing a game and stuff, then that's a completely different kettle of fish. But in terms of just idling on the Windows desktop, 3 watts, I was absolutely astounded. It runs really well, and it's very lightweight and very plasticky. Nick Barnes says, no way, your software corrupt, lol. I'm not sure. I think I took a screenshot of it. Say what? Yeah, it was ridiculous. That was using a hardware monitor, and that was the GPU idle. I should have, well, I will have it in a video, because I am going to do a review on this. So when the review video goes out, I will talk about wattages, and you'll see what it is now. I'll give you some screenshots so you can actually see it. But yeah, I was amazed. 3 watts. Very, very efficient indeed. So. It's just not even in the same ballpark, is it? You think that's like 600 grams, 150 quid, 140 quid, 2,139 grams, almost 1,000 quid. Man. Hayden Trent says, I wonder what the 6600 cost on GPU used at the moment. Well, that was the cheapest one they had at 140, which is why I bought it. I wanted a 6600. I had one before. I had the ASRock one, the Challenger, and actually I was very pleased with that. And I wanted something again. I think the 6600, like stuff like this, is really nice to fantasize about and look at and go, wow, if only, that's great. But I think the reality is, for a lot of people, you want something which you feel comfortable in buying, because it's not ridiculously expensive, but it's also going to get the job done, which is obviously a very important aspect of computing.
Was it plugged in?
It was plugged in, yeah. And then literally, I did the benchmark. I was just running some benchmarks, 3D Mark. Actually, I wonder if it'll be in my 3D Mark results. Let me have a look. I might be able to find it. No, actually, it's not going to show the idle, is it? It'll only show the peak. But actually, I did the 3D Mark Time Spy on it, and it actually got a pretty decent score. It actually scored above average. So normally when I benchmark anything on my computer, it normally comes in as like being either exactly on what it should be or slightly below, because there's an absolute ton of crap running in the background. Steam, Epic, Ubisoft, OBS, Elgato software, MSI Afterburner, Riva Statistics Tuner, Discord, various other things. It's loaded with crap, it really is. So that is why I wanted to give it a test and see what it run like. And I was actually marginally impressed with the performance, but it is, I don't know if you can see it. Let me try and get it in front of the camera a minute. Let's see. You see that plastic coming away there? Now, I don't know whether it's actually split or whether it's supposed to be split. I guess it should be, because it's designed to come apart in some way. And it's quite an unusual colour, the Eagle. So you've got that kind of pale grey and blue theme going on. So if you're looking to do some sort of colour-coded build, it may not be entirely ideal for that. But anyway, we're going to take it apart now and see if there's anything actually broken inside of it to begin with, and also see if there's anything we can do to remedy that, because I'm sure that's going to start vibrating and shaking, which is not great.
And also, it came from gpuuse.co.uk, which we have done other pieces on videos, and in complete transparency, if there's anything to look out for, then I want to share it with you, because if it's a company which I'm kind of mentioning, if there is a slightly darker side, obviously I want to know and you need to know, etc, etc. I don't think there is, but I want to have a look and see what's going on. All the fans work absolutely fine. Again, in terms of performance, it's been great, so that's why I wanted to do the benchmarks and see how it runs first of all before I take it apart, because yeah, that could be bad. I've just noticed actually, I'm pretty sure the colour on the camera is absolutely fine today. Am I right in saying that? The colours are much better?
Or is it just because you've got your glasses on? For
Maybe it's because I've got my glasses on, I can see the feckers.
Why do you keep swearing?
It's the glasses making me swear. Ah, talking of swearing, Bob, here we go. For our wedding anniversary, which was this week, Kath and I have been married for 28 years. Is that right? 28 years? It is, yeah. So Bob sent us this. Mrs. Always Right and Mr. Right. It's a very, very kind gift. And so we've got Mrs. Always Right and Mr. Right.
I'm not always right. Ask Mike.
She's not always right. She's half left. Boom.
You sound just like your dad then.
Did I?
Oh, so cute.
Skystalker says, nice crisp picture. Detail gets lost in the blacks though. Yes, I was thinking that myself actually. I noticed that in my t-shirt because the t-shirt doesn't show the creases and crinkles and stuff. So it is a little bit on the contrasty side. Could do with being a bit better. But it is only 1080p, so it is what it is. I'm running it 4,000 kilobits per second, so 4 meg. But I think it seems to be running right. And we haven't had any weird... Actually, that's something as well which I've noticed. Has anybody experienced any buffering or stuttering? Normally, people will talk about it in the chat if it happens, but doesn't seem that anyone... Captain Mike says, screen does look a little bit dark, Mike. Can you bump the ISO or gamma or something? I could turn the lights on. Oh. There we go. Got a bit more light now. That might be better. Traditionally, we'd always have two lights. So I'd have one key light facing me and I'd have one hair light over there. Glob says, no buffered, no stuttering. Perfect stream so far. Thank you. So it just goes to show that is thanks in part, obviously, to Ugly Bob once again. So I've swapped out today my QNAP hub, which is in the front room, for the Hisense one, which is kind of like a quarter of the price, if not less. And the internet does seem to be a little bit more stable, I would say. But let's not get too bogged down with that. So anyway, thank you, Bob, for that. We're getting a bit of a collection of these from Bob. We've got the what's the King? What was the other one? The King and the... We generally don't open mugs to actually use them until we get to a point where we break one and we have to crack out another. I don't know if you guys are like us, where you have accumulated loads of stuff over years and you basically get a new one out every time you break one.
His Lordship and...
His Lordship and Her Ladyship.
Yeah.
That was the other ones. Thank you.
Ugly Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Good. Wayne Taylor says, had a buffer at the beginning, only none since. Good. Captain Mike says, did you see the video about the cores versus cache that Hardware Unbox posted today? Very interesting. I've not, but I've probably got an idea of what it's kind of about, really. It's that same old thing. Now, the cores versus cache thing, most channels like Gamers Nexus, because obviously the name is in the title, and Hardware Unboxed, they do predominantly concentrate on gaming, which is a pretty good metric because most people get into computers because of games and then they
realise they can do other things like download pornography or whatever, and they do other things with it as well. But I think a lot of it, like the whole cores versus cache thing, if you're just gaming, I think, yes, it does make a significant difference. But if you're doing other things as well, you're multitasking, or you're doing content creation, stuff like that, or just other things other than gaming, I think more cores has its benefits as well. But certainly, if you went with a 6-core processor with an absolute ton of cache, it would run like an absolute champ, because cache, as always, since the beginning of computing, has always been that thing which the processors needed. There's always needed to be some sort of buffer. And even if you go back to the early Macintosh days, the very early, the first Mac and the Mac Classics, you could buy Coast modules, which was cache on a stick. So basically like a memory stick, and you could plug it into the motherboard, and that would add additional cache to the system, which would make it perform better. So it isn't necessarily a new thing, but actually having larger cache or dedicated cache on the processor has been around for a long time, but actually having this kind of 3D V cache or 3D whatever it is does improve performance for gaming and for some applications as well that rely on cached information for the CPU. So I kind of get where you're going. Ugly Bob says, why were you looking at me when you said downloading porno? I know. I will have to watch it actually and see what it's all about. But first of all, I'm going to take this apart and hopefully see why this is falling apart. I'm hoping it's just a screw somewhere, but it doesn't appear to be. If, like I said, if anyone else has got one of these in the chat and you want to chime in and let me know, but it does seem like there's either something missing or it's just a bit of a crap design. I've not really ever been a big fan of Gigabyte cards, if I'm absolutely honest, or Gigabyte in general. They do some good stuff, but I don't know, there's something about the brand. What was it, Maisie? Do you like Gigabyte? There's always one. I should use my magnetic mat actually for this, which is here somewhere. So, do these in some kind of order. Excuse me, frog in my throat. I'm not a French person. Talk amongst yourselves. Welly Bob says the Gigabyte Eagle cards vary dramatically in build quality. Definitely, this is this is very much a cosmetically challenged graphics card. And sadly, I've got my glasses on now, so I can actually see how cosmetically challenged it actually is. So in theory, that should come apart now. Oh my goodness gracious me. Right, is there another screw there? What is holding that in? Right, there's something holding that in. But I can't see what. And that does not want to appear to let go. It's alright, it was just the thermal pads not releasing, so we're all good. Oh, those thermal pads have basically been slightly decimated there. So let's unplug the fans. Don't break, don't break. It's all falling apart. So, there's not really a great deal to the cooler. But then it doesn't really need a great deal. There's a fair amount of dust on there.
Darky and Boy says, why are you taking the GPU apart?
I just wanted to take it apart to see if there's a better way of mounting the plastics so they don't wobble about and all that kind of stuff. I also wanted to check out the thermal paste, which I'm kind of glad I did. And I want to see if it needs new thermal pads, which it kind of seems like it does. And there is... Right, so that is why it was falling apart.
Is it glued together, somebody said?
No, there is some damaged plastics there. So which way did that go round? That was that
Always take
way
a
round.
photo before you take it apart.
Yeah. So that is why it was... That's why this bit is flexing, because this bit here... I'm not sure if you can see that. So those bits of plastic there and there. Looks like they've fractured, and also you can see the dust. So I've cleaned that side a little bit. There's still quite a bit of dust on there, and I've only used it for about an hour, and even though this place is like a zoo at times, it's not that bad. So they haven't really cleaned it up a great deal. And yeah, so those bits there. See, I don't get that. I'm a little confused now. Stay there. So 4 screws there. Yeah, that goes there. It's very flimsy.
Did it get damaged in transit?
It is possible. It wasn't, well, it was packaged in the Gigabyte box and then very lightly inside of another box. So I'm trying to work out, so those screws there, yeah, because you can't really access those screws at all. And when that is in that position, yeah, the screws would be under there, so you can see there, there's the fracture point there, and a little fracture point there.
You can use that plastic glue.
I'm not sure. It's very possible. Excuse me, so I'm going to have to get a drink of water to lubricate my throat. Otherwise I'm going to have to try and cough up a big fur burger. I nearly did myself then. Hey. So that's not
Andy Archie says super glue. Danny says, wasn't that heavy though, right?
No, it's very lightweight. Oh, I've scratched off that. Okay. So, how do I rectify that? Because those bits there should be in there. But, you can't... Actually, there's a couple there. There's some on the front side as well. Yeah, it looks like they've all been taken and hammering. So there's 4 screw points for that cooler. There, 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 and there. So my guessing is that it's only being held on by... Actually, I don't even know what it's being held on by. Yeah. I'm going to try and work out where the screws actually fall. So there's 2 that go down through that end. Those just go into the cooler. Yeah, so that's all that's holding it in place really, is those 2 screws at that end, which really it shouldn't have done. So I think that's what it is. Someone's probably tried to open this in the past and actually fractured all of the screws.
Actually, one of the screws has just fallen out there. So yeah, those thermal pads are absolutely horrendous.
You may Bob.
So,
Need to go for a wee now.
sorry, Bob.
Pouring water.
I'm really struggling to work out what's the history with this card. Bizarrely, even though the thermal paste and stuff was absolutely ruined and basically crumbling apart, it did actually very well, and it scored a pretty decent 3D Mark score. Charles, get some extra long pointy screws with wide threads and twist them in with muscle to drive them into a deep solid plastic beyond where the old one stopped.
Better build some muscles.
I better build some muscles.
But as a get ugly Bob still, he's got big arms.
Yeah. Where's Ugly Bob when you need him?
He is screw with confidence.
Let's give that a bit of a clean. So I'm going to need some thermal pads. I don't know how big they are. I've opened a can of worms, I really have. I didn't really want to open a can of worms. But those pads are basically completely crusted, which is not ideal. And also there is quite a lot of crud in there.
Danny, bit off the deck for that.
Oh dear. Danny says, I got a Z590 motherboard and it's basically limited in every single thing I don't want. HP1 came with a pre-built as expected, but are there still good Z590 boards available? Yeah, there still are. I can't think of any off the top of my head. It needs the i9 11th Gen K variant on, but I looked around and basically only saw Z590s. The Z5, well, the whole Z590 and 690, the 590 more so. The 590 series I kind of passed by a little bit, so you might have to get someone else to advise you on that. I don't think I'd give you a good answer because I've not really experienced those boards. I didn't get back into Intel stuff really until the 600 chipset, which is a different layout, or for different sockets, I think. Yeah, this thermal paste is very, very caked. But it looks like that thermal pad there on the VRM is actually new.
Might be able to get a new cooler shroud off AliExpress, Captain Mike says.
I don't really want to spend any more money on this. Chances are I'll just repaste it, put some new thermal pads on, and call it a day. Repairing plastics, sometimes you can have good results with it, but I don't quite understand how the card would be together. So I'm guessing that shroud must be permanently attached to there. So you remove this bit and that bit as a whole, and then you can undo the screws from the backside, because there are 4 screws there.
In your backside?
In my backside. Can't see a thing with this with my glasses on.
Cheaper option, wrap some black electrical tape around the wobbly end.
Yeah, that probably is the better option. Now somewhere in this godforsaken hellhole, I have actually got some thermal pads which I'd purchased. But I'm not entirely sure where.
Secret of tidying it up.
Know where you put stuff. Oh, that's clean enough. Luckily, these cards don't actually need a huge amount of thermal capacity because they run pretty cool anyway. What
have I got? Can't believe it, I've turned into Bob Fleming. IPA in a spray. Don't delay. Get some today. Don't know where that came from.
Never let that escape again.
Yeah, let's pretend that never happened. Okay, that's looking a bit better. Mike's a poet and we don't know it. Right, now where did I put... I think I know where it is. It's in the everything else drawer. So in here is lots of cooling items, pastes, etc. And I'm pretty sure, yes, there we go. Thermal pads. I think they're only 2mm. And I don't think I need a 2mm. I think I need something a bit smaller. So I might have to put an order in. Loads of TF4 there. I don't think there is any more in there. Right, is there any... So that's 2mm. I could have sworn I bought more than one bag. And I vaguely remember writing on there 1mm or 1.5mm. I don't fancy slicing it. But it might be okay. We might get away with it. Right, I might have to Google that. Or if anyone else wants to Google it. I think Byron says safe for a rainy day, but in the UK it's always raining. I could just take it to work with me tomorrow. 2mm. What did I do with those other ones? I couldn't have used them all. Although saying that, if I look at that, that looks like a perfect cutout of that section. So maybe I did just buy 2mm. I think that is going to be too big. They've only got 4 RAM chips and it does compress a little. Let's see. Yeah, it will compress a lot when I do it. I'm going to Google it. That's the safest bet. Gigabyte RX6600 Eagle RAM cooling, what do they call them? Thermal pads. Thermal pad. Size. If this comes up, I'll be amazed. Oh, bollocks. The thermal pads on the memory are 0.8mm thick, and those on the VRM are 1.5mm thick. Bugger. Bugger, bugger, bugger. Use a rolling pin to thin it.
Sit on it.
Captain White, hey! So yeah, 0.8, and these are 2mm. That's a big jump. And I don't think I've got any others. So I'm not gonna chance that, and I don't think there's much chance of me being able to carefully slice those. So I'm gonna have to.
You could see the block of cheese. I don't think there's any chance.
When I slice cheese, I give up and use my teeth.
You could use it for a door wedge after Mike's cut it.
Right, let's put that back in there.
Bless.
Right, Catherine.
Yeah.
Could you put in, or go onto Amazon? Rick says, twist that screwdriver mic to the max. Oh Christ! Drop my chair.
See, I told you you could sit on those.
K5 Pro viscous thermal paste for thermal pad placement.
Actually, 0.8 mil. That's less than a millimetre, isn't it?
I've got a 0.8mm nose ring.
I wonder if I could just use thermal paste.
No.
If I use a thick paste. What do we think in the chat? Should we possibly go with just using a thick paste? Lob loads of paste on it. I'm going to take these bits out, and this is the screws. I might try and glue those back in at some point. We can always see if that'll work. I would like to mend it. Nick Barnes says no, paste will run with the heat. I would hope it wouldn't too much. 0.8 mil is too big for paste. Kerry Holson would like to urgently borrow some thermal paste. Would he? Urgently? Not sure I can do urgent. Or thin copper shim if you're brave enough. Andy Archer says hot glue. I hot glued a radiator bracket on once. That was a stupid idea. Sky says, I don't think a blob of paste will work. It fills the tiny scratches, not gaps. The thing is, there's some paste which you can get, which is almost like silicone. And that might do it. I think the Noctua NH something or other was very thick. It's got to be in here somewhere. I'm sure I bought some pads which are thicker. I put... oh, fuck. Ah. Icy graphite thermal pad. How thick is that?
Shall I look? Because you can't see.
No, I can't. I think that's going to be... doesn't say. I think that's going to be too thin. Captain White says, pro tip for thermal pads, just get 0.75 mil and 1.5 mil. Can layer them together if you need 2 mil. But 0.75 and 1.5 is 2.25. Or is that fine? It'll compress down. Nick Barnes says just use 1 mil. Rick H, I got some of those. Too thin, just stack them. Oh, these were okay, but I don't know, for long service item stuff, they'd be okay. So what have I got here? So I've got the T5 and T5 Pro Plus, T4, 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 and we've got some cleanup pads, and I've got some other stuff here. As Rick H sent the TF4, I think, and the thermal pads actually. That stuff's useless, and it's on the floor. What is that? T9 Plus. T9 Plus Platinum might do it, because that is quite thick.
Actually, it's got B number on. I wonder if it says it online.
Stick the B number in, Kath, and see if you can find it. I'm sure I bought another pack of those bloody thermal pads. Swines. Thank you, Rick. Steel pads from NVMe Shield. That's not a bad idea, actually. Although I'm not too sure what size they are. They're probably not far off, actually. Just glob it full of HY710. That stuff is so messy. Probably bought it about 10 years ago. Oh, did that work? Thermal pads? That B number? Oh, on there?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think I was going to put it.
I thought you were on about those pads. Never mind. NVMe Shield pad is a great idea.
Captain White says, have you got any dead motherboards you can steal the VRM pads from? And that tends to be thin. That is a fantastic idea. And I do actually have somewhat dead motherboards which I can steal those said items from. Found it?
No. What do you mean find what?
The thickness.
No.
Okay.
They're like a thigh, weren't they?
Right, here is a dead motherboard. No NVMe shield. Wonder if there's enough on the VRM. No, actually, I'll find a drive, one that's got a drive. That'd be better. This board is the weirdest motherboard in the world ever. It works, but the BIOS is ridiculously slow. Like waiting seconds for things to move in the BIOS. And I have no idea what it is. No idea whatsoever. Have the X570 Plus. Some mounting stuff, some stickers. Aha! A tough gaming shield. Ow. Is it me or is it getting warmer in here? No, the fire's off and it's getting hotter.
It's not off. You can't turn a fire off.
Yeah, it's not off.
What temperature is it in here?
It is 24 degrees in here. 50% humidity.
It's like almost 90.
Mike, looks like you're up a creek without a paddle. I don't even have a boat. Dun dun dun! 1mm thermal pads. Thank you, whoever suggested that. Captain White, I think it was.
Captain White's come up with loads of good ideas tonight.
Captain White does come up with some absolute scorchers. Well done.
I think you said earlier, why don't you make me a cup of coffee?
Make your own bloody coffee in your new shiny mugs. Oh, for God's sake. Right, let's try and get this back on in one piece.
Do you need another?
No, I'm right. Thank you, Dave. Now, the trouble is with wearing glasses is my 3D depth perception, which I can barely say, is not good. Welly Bob says, where's the cat? Not even heard a meow. They've been very good. I wouldn't say we're deliberately keeping them off the stream, but we are not encouraging them. Especially when there's graphics cards and loose stuff around. It's never a good idea. Especially with cats with magnetic collars. Because that happened earlier today. Cats with magnetic collars. I had the switches opened up to look inside, and I had the screws on the desk, and they come walking around. It's like, no, please don't. Don't do it. If I lose those screws on up a certain creek, then I really won't have a paddle.
They're asleep on the boxes in the hallway.
Thank you. Okie dokie. Captain White says, I'll take the credit, but NVMe suggestion wasn't mine. Who was it? Oh, you said VRM thermal pads. Yeah, that's what I was taking it as being. Oh no, Chris Hartford. Steel pads from NVMe Shield. That was a freaking awesome idea. Where did I put them? Ah, there. It's getting late in the day now. The brain's just like, bye. I should clean that off of there, really. Let's accumulate that together. There's someone I went to school with many years ago, and if he was here right now, I could probably bet him 20 pence that he couldn't inhale all of that thermal compound up his nose.
And he would do it. Not because he wanted to do it, and not because he wanted the 20p, but just because we dared him to. It was kind of like the opposite of Marty McFly.
Who's that? Mitchell's.
MG. There's some very dangerous firework. Oh man. School was a blast, it really was.
Not at work. You'd have done it.
You would have done it anywhere.
Muffin Man. Do you know what about now?
No.
Snort the muffin.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, yeah, we do know someone who would actually inhale a muffin, a chocolate chip muffin.
Because he was on.
Just because they were on a diet and they didn't want to have any food like that in their mouth. So inhaling it is suddenly okay.
It's like a half a muffin.
What an absolute dipstick. Okay.
Couldn't even eat it. Huh?
Captain White had a mate who ate a glass light bulb. Dear God. Right. Oh, this is possibly gone past its best before date. And it's stickier than a sticky stick thing. Right. I don't even know how I'm going to cut this. Now it's probably got chocolate chips on it. Oh, man. Do you remember when you were a kid and you had those little octopus things and you'd throw them and they'd like come down the side of the wall? This reminds me of that a lot. It's just so sticky. Oh.
Put some on your forehead.
It'll stay there.
Yeah, see if it runs down.
In the summer, I'm going to put it on my forehead when I go out sunbathing. And come back in and I'll have the imprint of it.
You could say it's a new Mike's Unboxing logo.
Yeah. I've had the new Mike's Unboxing logo imprinted on my skull. Get some ordered, Mike. I'm gonna.
What are you doing?
I'm cutting up the pads to go on the bloody memory. Which I'm pretty sure there was thermal paste on here, actually. But this should compress.
Dave. Dave saw Welly Bob's comment about a kitten giveaway and he went under my monitor and he hasn't come out now.
Oh, for God's sake, stick, you useless piece of paste thing. I think these pads are not a good idea. Because that is essentially flat on there. And those look like they're higher by a margin. Oh well. We'll try it. I have no idea how thick this is. I'm guessing it's probably a millimetre. But then thermal pads are designed to squish a little bit, aren't they? So not as much as my butthole is going to be when I do some benchmarks on this thing, waiting for it to catch on fire. Actually, yeah, those are thinner on the VRM. The VRM is supposed to be 1 point something. How much does this stuff squish? Where'd I put it? There we are. I'm thinking thermal paste might be the idea. Yeah, I'm sure I said about using thermal paste at the beginning. Let's just see. Let's just see what happens. Something about this just looks all wrong. Right, so that is roughly in place. And is that even touching the core? No, I can see daylight through there. Although actually, maybe not. No, that isn't going to work. Actually, I'll put a little bit of thermal paste on there, and then I'll push it together and see if it actually makes contact. If it makes contact, then I'm very happy, and we can all go on and lead our lives. A little bit of a TF4. I will spread this a little bit to begin with. I really wish I never started this. There we go. Should have done this on the overhead camera actually. Where is my TF4? So I've spread it on there, and also just for good measure, I'm going to do a tiny little blob on there, and we'll see how far that squishes out. Who said it would be a good idea to take photos as dismantle? I know. They're all saying bang. Why are they saying bang? What went wrong? What did I break?
I did that with George when he used to open up that graphics card box.
You did, poor little kid.
I was a bit scared he'd drop it, to be honest. It's like watching some play Operation.
Yeah.
Get out the funny bone.
Right, I think that is about in the right position.
Captain White, she should smack the table if she says it for better effect. Oh,
Hey, what am I laughing for?
I know my limits. I would live to tell the tale after that.
Right, so that is basically in the right position there. So if we now disassemble number Johnny 5. Number Johnny 5, are you completely operational? And right, so it's only made a very, very small contact point there, whereas really that should have been spread out across there. So the thermal pads are definitely not going to be a thing. So we can remove those.
Can't you put 2 more?
No, it needs less. It needs to be thinner. I think that is probably not far off 2 mil, maybe 1.5. So, how much lower are they? It's really hard to tell if they are actually lower or not. Oh dear. Right, in for a penny, in for a pound.
What do you do now?
Thermal paste.
Then those pads.
No, just thermal paste.
Check if there's any thermal paste still on the VRM.
There's still, yeah, the pads are still on the VRM.
Use your carbon thermal pads.
The carbons might have been better actually, but they are really, really tricky to stay in place, which I wouldn't mind if it was just one. Is that about right? Nope.
Thought there's something really delicate coming in then. It's a great ad.
My Gert Ugh. Right, that is sort of lined up. So let's see what the spread is like, see if there's actually made any contact. I think it has, because it actually, there's quite a bit of resistance trying to pull it off.
With that salt.
Oh no. So we've made very small point of contact there, there and there. Which actually isn't awful, but it just means that it's not quite as good as we'd like. It's made good contact on the CPU now, the GPU now. That's absolutely fine. But the RAM chips there definitely either need a lot more thermal paste or a thermal pad. So I think with that we are at a certain juncture where it's going to be
That's the bin.
it's going to be it's going to have to be done properly, I think. When you screw it in, it will pull closer. Okay, we can try that.
It's got to be done properly. Dave.
Actually, TF4 is a particularly thin spreading paste as well. So do I use some? The thing is, where those two RAM chips there, they don't quite match up because the it kind of runs out of steam there. So I think it does actually need pads in order to bridge that gap a little bit. That makes sense. I think when it comes off the edge there, it's
Keep an eye on the clock.
yeah. What clock? Oh, the time?
Yeah,
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
William said.
So I don't know. Maybe I might have to order some
Might
pads
have
for that.
another idea, but you're not going to like it.
Go on then. Does it involve heat paste? Yeah, I think the I think ordering some pads is going to be a good idea. Unless there's another idea, go on. I'm open to all potential outcomes.
OT.
There's no other ideas. Captain White, come on, give us your idea.
He's probably still typing.
Oh God, it's one of those ideas. Right, tell you what I'll do. I am going to put a little bit more thermal paste on each one of the
Won't
chips.
that run off when it gets hotter?
Yeah, well that's kind of the idea. It doesn't run, it just sets. With thermal paste, especially on chips like this, like you can use a lot more thermal paste. Captain White says, cut 2mm or less thin strips from the pads you just tried to use. Leave 1 to 2mm gaps between them so they have room to squash. William Bodie says, question, please look up how millimeters it has to be. Well, I did look it up and it says the memory pads are 0.8mm thick and those on the VRM are 0.5.
No, 1.5.
1.5, sorry.
I'm pretty sure you said. And Nick Grimes has put that as well.
So if I go to
I mean, can you
the...
look it up now?
There we go. So there's the thermal pad size, so there we go. Thermal pads on the memory are 0.8mm thick and those on the VRM are 1.5mm thick. Although I think the VRM ones are actually smaller.
Charles Ballard. A dot of thermal paste, a small square of aluminium foil on top of that, and then a small drop of thermal paste on that.
Yeah, that might be a possibility. So I'll put some more paste on here. I'm going to squish that down. I'm going to then tighten it up and see how it comes out. Or hopefully it won't come out.
Okay, Flame? Oh, hold on, my keyboard's falling off my desk. What's wrong, Missy? Miserable.
Flame is miserable.
His middle name, isn't it? What's my video flame? Oh, Captain White. I believe in you, Mike. You got this.
I got something. Calf, can we get a bang?
It has to be kind of plugged in or something, doesn't it? To get a bang.
Really? Oh, come on, you slippery little sucker.
Charles Barlow,
Oh,
I
fair.
try it on my card, but you can feel free to do it and take the blame if it blows. I'll take the credit if it works.
What's that for the foil?
Take them off the 4090.
Oh dear. I don't know who would be crying the more, me or George.
Williams, and then read Charles is at the bottom. Right, get a bang.
Sorry, I'm reading the thing here. Calf, will we get a bang?
And then Charles.
I mean, I wouldn't try it on my card, but you feel free to do it.
Down the next one.
I believe she's in married one. Right. So I'm going to let that squish out on there for a minute, and we'll take the top off and see what the result is. So that is with the screws done up pretty much as tight as I can get them.
See a bit of seepage on back.
My back.
Well, not your back, but the back.
Is my hump leaking?
I've got to do a repaste on new thermal pads on my 1070. You can see a bit of oil seepage on back. That's not yours.
Right. What do we think this is going to look like? Let's stick you on the overhead. And we'll. Actually, that's got a lot more resistance coming off now. And we've got some reasonable coverage there.
Dutch Jam says, I repeat, thermal pads are there to make up a difference in height. Thermal paste is a micro gap filler, not meant for this.
I know. I just get upset when I don't have the equipment on hands to finish off a job that I should have done or need to do. I think it is going to be better to actually do this correctly, so I'm going to order some pads. I think that is going to be the best bet, and also then that gives me a little bit of time to try and work on trying to get some longer screws for this and try and repair the damage.
After 28 years?
Yeah. What, I'm going to take my time? That's what happened. Right, let's get back to that. So I think I'm going to give up. I'm not going to give up. Actually, I'm going to... Let's go to the Amazon. Oh, it's going to have to log in, isn't it? It's times like... Calf, can you do it, please? If I find the pads. Thermal pads.
Where are you going to post it then?
No.
Because I can't access a lot of things. You have to email me it.
What did I say? I wanted 0.7 mil. I'll give you the B number.
How do I put that into a phone?
Good question. Base Hunter or Bass Hunter, however you want to look at it. Has become a supporter of the channel. Thank you very much, Base Hunter. All I ever wanted. Not going to get a copyright match on that.
Oh, what's this stupid YouTube doing now?
20 quid for thermal pads, you're having a giraffe. That's better. Right. I will give you the B0 number. What's that? 1 mil. Oh, typical. 1/2 mil, 1 mil, and 1.5 mil.
Exactly. I was trying to
But
tell
I
you.
don't want that. 0.5, 1, and 0.5. That's not good enough. Yeah, welcome aboard. Base Hunter says, couldn't get a win, change name and subbed. Couldn't get a win? Oh, Base Hunter. Is Base Hunter lucky man or unlucky man? Come on, thermal pads. Arctic. That's 1 mil. Why don't they sell them in the right size? 0.8 I wanted, didn't I? Do you reckon 1 mil will be alright? Mike link in chat.
Yeah, that's lucky man. You can see it in the picture.
Oh yeah. Captain White's put a link there. Oh, on eBay. That's 0.5 mil. They do a larger one. It's a good price though. £2. Free delivery Wednesday the 28th of February. Or fastest delivery Monday the 26th. That would be the one. So let's go with that. That is 0.5, 1 mil, 1.5, 2 mil and 3 mil thickness. So that's handy to have. And these are $12.99 for all that.
So is that from eBay?
No, Amazon. So B0,
Yeah.
CN for Nathan,
Yeah.
9, Golf, Hotel, 7, Hotel, Golf.
So what I'm going to do, put that in here,
Just
email it to myself.
No, just put it. Just open up an Amazon page and order it. Oh, can't you order
I
it?
use it on my computer because I'm logged into your accounts, aren't I, for affiliate links.
I'll be right back. Right. Amazon UK. Right, what did I say it was? B0.
CN
Yep.
9GH
9GH HG
7HG.
7HG. Boom.
But I can't access YouTube on my phone either.
Proceed to checkout. Log in. Free Amazon Prime Day. That'll do. Bye now. Please wait while we process. Right, order placed. Excellent. Right, that is done. Oh, don't you just hate it when you put your hand in the thermal paste spatula that you've left on the table unattended because you're an absolute animal. There we go. I should have got the Putier ones, really. Not Putier, the one that Captain White did, but eBay, and I want other ones as well, but we'll see. We'll see what these come through like, if they do the job. It's supposed to be 0.8, so, but it wants, there's 0.5 and there is also 1 mil. So I think 0.2 of a mil shouldn't pose too much of a problem. And if it does, I'll just use the 0.5s and pray. So I'll clean that off now. I'm glad I took all this apart. That's been great. This thing's never going to work again, is it? Oh, there's thermal paste everywhere.
Thermal pads typically squash down a lot on the chips anyway.
Yeah. I think the 1 mil will be okay. Shame I couldn't get a 0.75. I might do that later on or tomorrow while I'm working, allegedly, and see if I can find any 0.7s. I would prefer 0.7s really. Oh, this is filthy. Absolutely filthy. Oh well, that'll do. That'll do for now. That'll do, donkey. Where'd that come from? I didn't even get round to looking at those headphones. No doubt I will during the week. And like I said, during this week we got the lovely Mr. Colin Hilton coming down for a visit, bringing down his PC and doing a bit of a swapperoo, a bit of a build. I'm not too sure. I think he's bought some 4TB NVMe drives as well, which I kind of wish I'd have bought a bunch of bigger, or at least some NVMe drives earlier on in the year. Because prices at the moment for NVMe drives are absolutely horrible. Like, actually proper horrible. Let's go back to the stream. There we go. Is that working? Yep. No, not yet. Sorry, there's cats coming and Kath is going to stop them, I can tell.
You're not a cat, are you, Candy?
Alright, you bloody kitten. Gosh darn it. This is actually properly filthy. The Kioxia Xperia G2 has come down up to £47 on Amazon. That's definitely heading in the right direction. It's not as little as I'd like it to see, because we have seen some drives like ridiculous pricing. And
Sorry.
Go on.
Are you going to film Colin's build?
I'm not entirely sure. It depends how complex it is.
And the case is massive.
And unfortunately, he's got the Langcool 3 case, which is just ridiculously big, and I can't actually get it on the table
With the camera.
with the camera.
With the angle.
It's like me or the camera, or me, the case.
Me or the case.
Yeah,
Me.
if there's three things, it's either the case, me, and the camera, but those three won't all fit. It's not easy to do, but we'll see. Hopefully, these tables are wrecked again, and I haven't replaced them for probably getting off about 3 years now. So it is about time I replaced the table, and the new version of what we've got is actually a little bit bigger. So in that case, it might actually fit and give me a bit more working room, which is quite handy. So we'll see. Yeah. Well, we might do.
You'll order it, maybe.
Yeah, I'll have to order them. Make sure you brush your teeth, kids, and your graphics cards. Right, I've seen enough of this thing now. I suppose I've got to put it back together, haven't I? Where is he? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Captain White says the core making good contact is the main issue. Round chips didn't even used to have cooling on them back in the days, and would probably work without direct contact to the heatsink. I think with the more modern GDDR6 or whatever it is on here, I think it does require some contact. Let's see. Where does that go? It smells all sticky?
Yeah.
How do you smell sticky?
I don't know. George coming down with a load of cans. They just smell all sweet and sticky.
Oof.
Like a kid used to smell.
How do kids smell? Let's ask a certain someone. I'm not going to say, because I'll probably get into trouble. Yeah, modern RAM does get quite warm. Come on, go in, you swine.
Hello, David. George, did you like it when I said bang when you opened your graphics card?
I don't know why I'm bothering putting this back together, really. But if I don't put it back together, I will definitely lose all of the screws. And then there will be tears. What is going on?
What's going on, Dave?
How can someone be so simple?
Come on.
It's like it's almost telling me, it's like, Mike, I don't want to go back together. You haven't fitted all my bits. Well, this is all the bits you're getting. Andy Archer says, did you use up all the coffee yet, Mike? Not far off it, to be honest with you. And actually, I did order another 6-pack of Beanies coffee. So I've got the cookie dough, the vanilla, the cake mixture, or birthday cake.
Over on the chair.
What was it? I've got another one of the nutty,
Dad had to take the thermal pads
whatever it
out
was called.
in that thing. Is that alright?
So yeah,
Didn't you?
doing well.
You had to take the thermal pads out of George's graphics card to put it in there.
Yeah.
Is that alright?
We did warranty.
I'm not touching that thing. I'm terrified.
Yeah, really.
Right.
What's that? Intel R.
No, this is the RX, whatever it is. Are those the same size screws as that? No, they're shorter. So which screws did I take out first? I think it was the ones in the end. But I think that's the one.
Where is his card? Back in the box.
It's on the chair.
It's back in the box.
I put it away, George. I didn't want anyone to damage it, i.e. me.
And Davey.
Dave Under says I use coffee that is coffee flavoured. That's a very cool thing. I think that'll catch on. I think people will definitely do that.
Did it work before strip down, and what were the temps?
It did work before the strip down, and the temps actually were very good. Very good.
Where did you break it?
I didn't break it. I was investigating. Leave me alone.
Hello, Otis.
I've forgotten to put... Oh. They put the stupidest little cables on these things.
Okay.
Oh, you arse. Right. If that's the way you're going to be about it, I just won't connect you. Anyway, so this has been an interesting experience, he says. That feels like it's just going round and round and round. I wonder if that is the wrong screws. Most screws, when you screw into plastic, hit like a hard stop. Those kind of aren't. No, that definitely isn't. That's close enough. Anyway, it's back together-ish. This is definitely going to be a work in progress. So I'm going to find myself a little druggy bag to put those screws in. You haven't got any little druggy bags, have you?
Yeah.
Can I have one, please?
I don't know.
New name for the channel, Mike Unfixing.
Oh, I think you gave it to me. Did I drop?
Mount without the cover for a unique look. Gigashite. I was very tempted. There was an MSI Ventus version as well. And in hindsight now, I'm very much wishing I went with the other one. Right, where's the box? So it did actually come in the box, as you'd expect it to. Oh, feck. That is just so not connected now.
Was it Pops?
That is definitely going to be a labour of love getting that thing back together. Discard the shroud and cooler completely and make it liquid cooled. The thing is, that had occurred to me at some point to water cool it, just to get rid of the cheapy cover. But the thing is, it's a 6600, and even with the best will in the world, you could water cool it, and you're not really going to get a great deal of extra performance out of it. I would like to do that. Hey ho, you live and learn. Oh, better put the little plastic bag in there with the live and learn. I wish I did. I don't ever. I'll put the receipt in the box as well. Always print out your receipt and put it in the box with stuff, because that way you know who to blame or who to contact should anything ever go wrong. I've devalued this graphics card by at least £50 already. But it'll be alright. We'll get our thermal pads in. We'll do the video. It'll be benchmarked. Luckily I've benchmarked it already. And actually, if I... where are we? I can probably show you that. Where are we? Results. Review links. Blah, blah, blah. Review links. My results. There we go. Time spy, there we go. So I think you should be able to see that. I don't think there's anything incriminating there. So there is the Time Spy score. I think it says, oh, there we go. Yeah, logged in as Mike's Unboxing, there we go. And as you can see, hardware AMD Radeon RX6600 and a Ryzen 7 7700. And the score was 8673. That is with the Asus motherboard, blah, blah, blah. Which was, for this particular card, actually not too bad, I think. Yeah, Gigabyte technology. Average clocks. Average temperature, 52 degrees Celsius. So that was actually really cool. I'm glad I took it apart now. What did Captain White say?
Oh dear.
I like how the clock frequency for the 7700s, 6,300 megahertz. I don't think it ever got to 6,300 megahertz. It might have done, but I doubt it. So yeah, that was the results. Actually, view benchmark run. Can I see it there? Oh, that's what we are looking at, isn't it? How can you... Blah, blah, blah. I want to compare that. How do you compare it? I always forget how to do this. I don't often go here. That's that one, graphics card. Nope, not there. What the hell? I give up. My brain's given up now. It's got to that time. Let's close that, close that, close that. And there we go. So
William asked, what is Mike using the GPU now? This is when you did use it on it.
yeah, this is because it arrived on, I don't know, Wednesday or something. And I've done the review for the 7800 XT, which actually I think you're going to find very interesting. I've been somewhat negative about the 7800 XT since I bought it. And there's been some twists and some plot changes. Plot twists and turns, or I don't know, whatever you call it is. There's been some things which have happened. And I am slightly happier with it now than I was. And so much so that it's actually in my video editing PC as we speak. And there's various things I've done, but you'll find out more about that in the video review, which will be coming out soon.
Captain Mike, don't read it out loud.
Captain.
Well, you can if you want, but read it first before you read it out loud. Just try to Google what.
Ooh. Nice. I'll remember not to add that to any of our logos. And the Archer says send it back, just don't link the video in. I've taken the thermal pads out now, so it'd be hard to, well, what was there, the paste, so it'd be hard to justify sending it back. I wouldn't, to be honest with you, I wouldn't do that anyway. It's
Karma.
it's a bad karma thing. As much as I would like to, well, I'm tempted to speak to him and say, look, I got the card, some of it was damaged. I tried to rectify damage, and in turn doing that,
Watch the video.
yeah. Then I'll watch this stream. But I think I've been genuine about it, haven't I? Ultimately, so it certainly appeared that it hadn't been taken apart because that screw was over the screw hole. But whether or not that was actually the genuine one, maybe they stick that on after as like a security seal, so they know if it's been sealed. That would actually be very worthwhile looking at, actually, to see if... Actually, yeah, if anybody's got an image of an original RX6600 Eagle, post it to me or drop it in the Discord. I'll put the links for Discord on the screen right now. So if you've got a picture of one, or you've got one, can you take a picture of the original security screw and see what it's like? Because I do have my concerns that maybe they put a sticker on after the fact, which some companies will do as a security seal. It's definitely a thing, but we'll see. Arali says karma is real. Taylor Swift has a song about it. Freedom House says bottom left, it was right on screen. Let's have a look. Where is it? That was the wrong tab. Control Shift T. There we go. Control Shift T is the greatest thing. It really is. Right.
I use it every day for my thousands and thousands of
Compare.
tabs.
Right, that compare tab. No, that isn't what I wanted. What I was looking for is on the view benchmark run. I was hoping it was going to show like all the lines and all the temperatures and stuff. But I don't think it does.
It says compare and has up arrow. It's a white box.
Yeah, no, that's my fault there. I don't want compare. Well, I kind of do, but it doesn't have an option. It just says compare.
You have to see it on the site.
Oh, add results. Got you. Got it. Search for CPU. Sorry, I was being a dumbass. I don't use this very often, as you probably guessed. RX6600. Oh no. Search for CPU. I don't want to search for GPU. I want to search for CPU. RX6600. No, it doesn't find that either. Oh. So AMD Radeon. What else I could spell? RX 6600. There we go. 3 more times by search. So yeah, average score is, actually let's put it on the screen so you can see what I'm seeing. So average score is 8060. And what did I get? Did it say now? Oh, Motion Boxing, there we go. So it doesn't say. I don't know, what's that? Why has that got a number 1 by it? Why am I doing that there? Is that a good thing? I have no idea. 3 times 4. Oh, I've got no idea what I'm doing. What was my result?
Oh, and was I looking at graphics score or overall score? I was looking at overall score. I'm right down here somewhere, aren't I? Oh, I give up. No, I give up. I'm gonna have to. I'll look at that at a later date when my brain is functioning more so. Probably won't happen very soon. Kaiser says, you threw the towel in early on the 7800 XT. I did, but there were certain aspects of it which I just couldn't get to grips with. One of which was the extremely high idle wattage, which does seem to be slightly fixed now. I wouldn't say it's absolutely perfect, but it is certainly better than it was. But I've gone through at least 10 different driver installations until I've actually got it to do what it's meant to do. They said it was fixed at Christmas, and it wasn't for me in a lot of cases. But it does seem to be working better. Ah, right. Cheers, Freedom House. I got it. So, yeah, the 7800 XT, it's definitely got its flaws, but it also has some positives as well. And actually, bizarrely, I found that testing the GPU, actually in a different case, made a big difference. Now, originally my numbers when I was testing was from my own PC in the Lian 216. When I did the testing yesterday and day before, I had it in the Series 500. And the cooling characteristics for the Series 500 for the GPU seems to be completely different. And I don't understand why. There's no logical reason for it because they are both doing effectively the same thing. Whereas the Lian is just blowing 2 big fans in. That's got 3 fans, smaller, blowing air in. But for some reason it seems to do better, and I cannot understand why. But it was a significant difference anyway. So yeah, it'll be an interesting video when it comes out. So I think we should wrap things up there because time is getting way on and I've got to go to work tomorrow morning, which sucks. So thank you all for joining us on this live stream. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have and you haven't already, smash the like button. If you're new here and you want to see content like this again, for some reason, hit the subscribe button. People do that. It's a good thing to do. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Thank you all so much for your memberships as well. For those of you that have gifted them, and for those of you that have signed up as well, thank you very much. And you'll be getting early access to content. It's not massively early. Unfortunately, there's no way that we can do it other than the patrons get the earliest of access, then members after, and then obviously it goes out to everybody else as well. But to be honest with you, there isn't anything in the videos which is, I would say, totally groundbreaking. But I think if you're someone who follows a channel and you just want to get the content early because you just want content, then I think it's a pretty cool thing to do. And obviously it helps to support the channel, which is always a very nice thing to do. So we will be doing a follow-up on the Gigabyte Eagle and seeing how all that goes and talking about the frustrations. And I will get in contact with gpus.co.uk to see what they say about it. Realistically, I don't think there's a great deal that can be done either way, but I think it'll be interesting. Sorry, I think it'll be interesting for you guys to hear what the conversation is like and how that goes, and see how they deal with it, and see if they actually reply, or I get a big FU. That'd be quite an interesting one. So thank you all very much for joining us. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we will catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I won't, because I'll be at work. Good night. See you all later. Say bye, Calf.